I'm the truth.
Oh, you can hear me now? Got a confession to make tonight, y'all. Can y'all hear me now? Okay, I'm clear. Oh, look. Hey, come over to YouTube. Talking Instagram, y'all. People be on Instagram. They know damn well they ain't finna sit on Instagram. I don't know. I don't sit on Instagram and watch people live. Because Instagram made for scrolling. But it's all good. It's all good, y'all. We back in here again to do the goddamn thing to make sure we standing on motherfucking principle, right? That's what we doing. Hopefully this whole week. You have stood upon principles, the principles. If you got your own, stand upon them. Don't be a fool for none of it. Don't be a fool for none of it. I wanted to tell y'all something. That's why I got my glasses on. I have been approached by the Illuminati. God damn it. They told me not to say nothing. They told me not to say shit. They told me not to say shit about about joining the Illuminati, and I've signed up. If you were wondering, I signed up for the Illuminati. So I should get this $22 billion check coming in. I've also endorsed Trump. So just in case any of y'all wondering, got this check coming in. The cat's out the bag. Cat's out the bag. Illuminati has been joined. They call me Naughty Pop. Not instead of No Way Pop, I'm Naughty Pop. Instead of No Way Pop, I'm Naughty Pop. Illuminati. Hey, I don't know if y'all seen what's the last video Trav just did? God damn, I forgot the name of it. But we talking about these threes. J Bob here said glad our agent was able to show you the upsides. J Bob Hill sent them if you didn't know. J Bob Hill's the Illuminati. The true Illuminati. What you talking about, J Bob Hill? A lot of slander online about the Illuminati right now. They're like, hey, you the perfect fella. You the one we've been looking for. You're the Christ. You're Jesus. But hey, now though, that the last video Trav just did with fire. I know you seen it, J Bob. I know I caught the replay. That shit was fire dealing with these threes. Yeah, he's talking about the Illuminati. Yeah, dealing with these threes, dealing with them threes, and dealing with consciousness, force, and form. Trail popped this shit on that one, didn't he? Trail popped this shit on that one. Oh shit. But we in this motherfucker. If you in here, just join and hit that like button. Hit that like button. I like to let the beat build. I like to let it build up while we get ready in here. I like to let it build up before we goddamn hop into chapter 6. We're going into chapter 6 tonight. Zero. What's not supposed to be playing. I'd be so mad, y'all, because this shit'll be playing. See, there it go again. Hold up. Yeah, there you go. All right. But yeah, he said, I'm trying to bring Tesla free energy to humanity, but that's evil. Yes. Yeah, though. All right, if you just join and hit that like button, drop a SOP in a chat so we can goddamn get it going here, y'all. These two chapters are a little thicker. But no, I was talking about that video Trav had done, man. That shit was fire. And thinking about he was going into some shit, but he didn't want to go into it. I forgot what he said, but he was dealing with like almost on some I don't quote me on what he said. I don't never want to put the words in somebody else's mouth, but I know he was going like towards the way of talking about like this whole AI shit and this and this and that, and thinking about and we talking about consciousness because I got a video coming. Whoa, I got a video coming. I got a video coming with some supporting evidence. I mean, evidence obviously of what I've studied and what I've found. And I think some people are ready to hear that. Some spiritual people are just not. AI is unnatural. I mean, like, what's natural? Whatever. Man, it's a good at. I don't want to say too much because that'll take a whole different. And I think Dion Fortune gonna get in some shit that challenges that too today because we're dealing with chapter 6, right? Chapter 6 being the 3 kinds of reality. Let me put this on up on the screen. Why it ain't showing? Hold up, y'all. Why it ain't showing? Hold up. Hold up. Boom. There we go. There we go. If you just join and drop an SOP in a motherfucking chat, cat, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Make sure we doing something. All right. Solus, the solstice has been just that. It has been the soul of my stis. It's been smooth though. Smooth transition. Yeah, definitely a smooth transition. My dream's been back popping. My dream's been back popping heavy. Heavy. As always, I'm documenting my dreams, right? Gotta keep them dreams documented. Gotta keep them dreams documented. Gotta keep that what that subconscious mind trying to show you. Gotta keep that shit popping. Has to keep that shit popping. But peaceful transition though, man. Honestly ready for what I already been planning to come into manifestation, right? Everything just been lining up, bro. Everything just been lining up with the people I meet. Everything just been lining up, bro. Everything's been lining up. It seems like a lot of shit that's been lining up over the couple past years that a motherfucker been wanting finally come into alignment. So it's perfect. I couldn't complain about shit. I wouldn't complain about shit. This shit is going the way it's supposed to be. It's cosmic P because I'm standing on P. And by me standing on principle, shit has been coming in full throttle. My favorite person they asked me today, how's your mental health? I'm like, now that you say it, it's actually good. My mental health is stable. Matter of fact, it's flourishing. It's flourishing right now. I'm losing. Man, too quick when I wake up. Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Mine actually, I actually had a dream where I was just asleep. I just woke up from a nap. I just had a dream, like with some artificial intelligence type shit going on in my dream. Like I don't know if y'all been hearing, but like my the shit in my background starts to narrate my dreams if I go to sleep with it playing. So if I'm listening to a book or if I'm listening to some mantras or a TV show is playing in the background, it ends up narrating my dream. Like my dream will be based off whatever I'm hearing in the background. That's why I tell these people it's important to, you know what I'm saying. If you can have a peaceful background, or if you ain't got to play shit in your background, but or add some mantras or some of them sound bowls or some of those binaural beats, whatever the case may be. I don't know, but for everybody with that heightens up my dreams to be very lucid. So, with that being said, let's go and get into chapter 6, the three kinds of reality. Three kinds of reality. What are you talking about, Miss Fortune? What's the three kinds of reality? We already went through the group mind, the psychology of the ritual, the circuit of force. There go the psychology of ritual. We went through the circuit of force, which you bring the energy down. Is how we normally talk, praying and asking and bringing energy down. But you need to raise up the forces on the plane that you are on, Malkuth. And that's why Trav has this elemental magic course, right? Raising up these forces from the material plane or Malkuth consciousness, the soul of the earth type shit. And you raise and you also what's the word I like to use? You evolve the elemental forces around you. That's what we standing on, right? We evolve and everything around us, and everything around us evolves. Here we go with the three kinds of reality. Uh-oh, J Ball here acting like you read ahead already. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Hold up. Let me check over one more time on IG. Let them folks know to bring their ass over here to YouTube. All right. Let's go on and get this shit started, y'all. Hold up. She popped this shit off with this shit ASAP. Unless, hold up. I might have to probably keep the screen up in my face. Pull YouTube up on the phone. Damn. What about YouTube? Say I'm not live, but obviously I'm live because y'all are sitting right here on it. All right, there we go. All right. So it says, unless we realize the difference between the cosmos and the universe, unless we understand it's cosmic P versus universe P. We got to understand it's cosmos P. Let's see where she's going with this. We shall never achieve a true understanding of esoteric philosophy. This point is an exceedingly important one, for it marks the distinction between those who know how to interpret the symbol systems and those who do not. It's those who know and those who don't. Those who know and those who don't. The concept is not an easy one to grasp, but we will try to convey it as simply as possible, for many important practical points arise out of it. That's the thing with especially the way she writes. Like I got a book called Western Psycho- Western Psychology, Eastern Psychology in a Western Mind by Geraldine Costa. I read through a couple pieces and parts of it, and it's like you got to understand like there's a different type of mindset that we have over here, and it's hard for us to grasp abstract thought. Honestly, I think it's hard for a lot of human beings to grasp abstract thought. You know what I'm saying? Like shit that goes beyond the five senses. You can't fucking perceive it, and it's a natural thing. Curve, peace, 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 peace. All right. Let's see, because I got the large screen on my I can't. I'm looking at my phone to see when people comment now. So let's fuck that. I don't like reading that shit. Um, this concept is not an easy one to grasp, but we will try to convey it as simply as possible. For many important practical points arise out of it. A lot of practical shit can arise from it, even though it's hard to grasp, right? For all practical purposes, our solar system is a closed unit. What does closed mean, y'all? Does that mean the universe is limited? I like to say that it is. 1717. Let me write that down. Um, Let me put my 17 down. Hold up, y'all. We just live for 17 minutes and 17 seconds, and I called it. So, I like to say the universe is limited. I mean, not limited in the type of shit that you want, though. You can get everything that you want, a human wants in the universe, but the universe is limited to what it can give you. There are limitations. There has to be. The universe can only give you what the universe has in it. If you can ever conceive anything that's outside of universal thought, what does that mean? Can the universe give it to you? I don't know. The influences received by it from other heavenly bodies change, if they change at all, in such a vast cycle of time that would just hold up. What the fuck? The influences received by it from other heavenly bodies change. So the influence that the universe receives changes, if they change at all, in such vast cycles of time that we are justified in considering them as a constant so far as we are concerned. This solar system arose from the nebula, the planets being thrown off by the sun, and in their own throwing, and in their own throwing off attendant, what the fuck? Attendant moons? What does that mean? And in their own throwing off their attendant moons. We may therefore say, as regards of our universe, in the beginning there was a nebula. In the beginning there was a nebula. In the beginning there was a nebula. But when we have said we have not disposed of the problem, whence came the original nebula? When did it come? That is what that is. Hold up. That is was condensed. What the fuck, man? These reprints don't be making sense. Let's see what it said on here. These reprints, but when we have said that, we have not disposed the problem. Whence came the original nebula? That is condensed out of the diffused matter. See, my book don't say that. That is condensed with out of the confused matter may be the answer to that question. But still, we have not got to the beginning. Whence did the matter of space, whatever that may be, derive the inherent characteristics which came out of the process of its evolution? In fact, the very word evolution implies involution. Remember what we talked about involution, right? From cosmic doctrine. Involution, the opposite of evolution, when things are taking out, which is what inherently what we call evil, when things get destructive, which is inherently what we call the left-hand path, right? Nothing can be unfolded, which was previously enfolded. There must have been a phase of existence which preceded the unfolding of evolution. There had to be a phase of existence which preceded the unfolding of evolution. Because ain't that what we look at when we see the tree? Like this motherfucker comes out of the aim so far, right? So it unfolds. As it unfolds, our universe comes into existence. So there had to been some existence, or maybe not what we call existence, that exists, right? I think that's what she's getting at. Nothing can be unfolded which was not previously enfolded. There must have been a phase of existence which preceded the unfolding of evolution. For evolution is not a continuous creation of something out of nothing, but a coming into manifestation out of latencies. These latent periods, and that's what we was talking about on my other video, from some zero to spiritual hero. You got to understand these latent periods are actually great periods to be have had. This is when the work that's been put in may actually be going through a different process on a different plane of existence. So slow down, you're doing right. If your magic ain't working right now, if your dreams ain't popping right now, it's okay. They have to come back, but there has to be a dormant period. There has to be a latent period. We ain't with that what Trevor talking about on the other video, dealing with the three gunas, right? The tamasic nature of things, right? This tamasic nature of things. We solve this problem for the hold up. We solve this problem for the purpose of for the purpose of any reasoning we may want to do by hold up want to do. What the fuck is that, man? Hold up. We solve this problem for the for the purposes of reasoning we may want to do by positioning the great unmanifest. Here we go, the root of all being, which is really the metaphysical equivalent of X. Okay, the unknown, right? Here we go, the unknown quantity. In algebra, X enables calculations to be made with known quantities, but at the end, we are none the wiser concerning its own nature than we were when we started. So you do you feel stupid when you left off from when you came in? In metaphysics, whatever we do, hold up. In metaphysics, whatever we do, not understand. I gotta read that again. See, that's the problem with trying to read this type of shit. But at the end, we are none the wiser concerning its own nature than we were when we started. In metaphysics, whatever we do not understand. We refer to this as the X, which is not only the great unmanifest, but also the great unknown. Remember, she said it's the great unknown, but not the great unknowable, right? We would never limit ourselves to saying that it's the great unknowable, it's just the unknown right now. That don't mean that we won't get to know it. The unknown, however, is is a relative term in esotericists, or for that matter of that, evolutionists also will not agree with the Herbert Spencer that the great unknown is also the great, here we go, the great unknowable, with an extension of human consciousness, either in the course of evolutionary development or by intense methods. A great deal can become known which was hereto unknown. In fact, a great deal is known to the scientist, the philosopher, and the metaphysician. This is a part of the great unknown, so far as the average man is concerned. And much is known to the average man, which is also part of the great unknown to a young child. Why did she say that? That young child comes straight from that motherfucker, right? Maybe. Let's see. The great unknown, therefore, is not a thing in itself, but rather a relationship that exists, or perhaps more accurately, does not exist. The unmanifest. If you know anything about it, then it must not be the unmanifest, because the unmanifest is the unmanifest, that which is not manifested yet. Right? Hold on. The great unknown, therefore, is not a thing in itself, but rather a relationship that exists, or perhaps more accurately, does not exist between the self and certain aspects of the not self. The great unmanifest cannot be the great non existent. The non existent just isn't. Here we go. The great unmanifest cannot be the great non-existent. The non-existent just isn't. And that is all there is to be said about it. She said some big dog shit on that one, didn't she? But the great unmanifest very much is, and to call it, hold up, the great manifest very much is. And to call it the root of all being is a very good description. It's a very good description to give it because we have to get in. That's what she was saying at the beginning. It's hard to grasp this, but it has to be done for any type of practical understanding to be understood when you're dealing with magic, right? It is only unmanifest so far as we are concerned because we have not got at our present state of evolution at any rate any faculties or sense by means of which we are able to contact it. We have not gotten to that point of our evolution where we're able to tap into. When we talk about our evolution, the human being is done evolving as far as physical, right? As far as so-called natural physical. Maybe people start attaching themselves to artificial intelligence and robots and all that, but our arm is just gonna be what it is, our lung and the heart and the stomach, the guts, intestines, and bloodstream. That's just gonna be what it is. Now we ain't evolving no more parts of that, even the brain. The only thing that's evolving now is the human consciousness, the non-local part of man, right? That force, the form may be done evolving, but that force or that consciousness behind force and form is what's evolving. Journey, what's going on? What's going on? I peeped you. Let me back up out the full screen, y'all. Cause I ain't been able to check the chat, really. Damn. Oh, there we go. Peace, everybody. Peace. So, yeah, what the fuck did we just read right there? Peace, etheric. What's happening? It's motherfucking P. The principles that we stand upon, my G. So let's continue. Let's finish this up. What she say? It is only unmanifest so far as we're concerned because we have not got at our present state of evolution at any rate any faculties or sense by means of which we are able to contact it, right? If an extension of consciousness takes place, however, by means of which we become conscious of an aspect of the root of all being which had hitherto been unperceived by us, then for us it is no longer unmanifest but has become manifest. So is that possible for things that so here we go. Let's look at history, right? What may not been able to be perceived by the Wayne then what's happening? Stand on motherfucking principle, y'all. Stand on P. So if these ancient times things that they couldn't perceive. Let's just say this: a cell phone. Maybe I'm pretty sure they didn't have cell phones during these ancient heights of times of ancient religions or ancient society that we love to put up. At some point, the cell phone it had to exist in the unmanifest. It had to exist in the unmanifest, and somebody had to bring it down into existence. At first, it had to exist in the unmanifest, and now it exists in the manifest. That's why I say it's an abstract concept to think about what's going on with artificial intelligence. Did y'all see that? I think this is some old shit. But it was a new discovery that they just put out. I was gonna post it, but they dealing with like they in Antarctica they found a parallel reality running right next to ours, which okay, metaphysics teachers been talking about this type of shit anyway. It's running parallel to ours, and the time may be going backwards versus ours going forwards. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? That can be some cliffotic type shit, and that's what I'm gonna go into when I tap into that AI shit because we read outside the circles of time. We read the dark side of Eden, right? And then we already got some form of information over here about the Caliph, right? So when we think about the unmanifest, things come from the unmanifest, but about time it hits us and we can conceive it, it is no longer unmanifest. Why? Because it has manifested. That's a key principle to understand when dealing with this occult shit. Might we say, hold on, we can go on the next page now. Might we say then that manifestation takes place by means of realization? The actualities, which are the underlying pneumonial essences of all that exist, never become manifest in that they become objects of sensory experience. Let's read that again. The actualities, which are the underlying pneumonial essences of all that exist, never become manifest in that they become objects of sensory experience. But are the apprehensions limited to our what? But are our apprehensions limited to our senses experience? See, this is what they go into when you're dealing with a lot of the tantric shit, a lot of the Eastern shit. Definitely talk with Shooter how they talk about subjective experiences is far more superior than objective experiences. What do we talk about? Because everything that you can ever exist and ever will experience, I say ever exist, everything that you ever will experience in this manifest reality is based off of your five senses, which you know what the senses are, right? You can see, you can touch, you can feel, you can smell, you can taste. Everything is based off of that experience. But can you have an experience outside of the five senses? This is what we get to do when we go into meditation. You don't need to physically sense or feel any of those things. You can bring them into manifestation through the subjective experience, right? Through your mind. This is how we time travel, right? The psychologist says yes. The esotericist says no. No sensory experiences enable Darwin to apprehend the law of evolution. Uh-oh. His five senses may have enabled him to observe the innumerable phenomena on which his ultimate deduction was based, but it was a faculty quite distinct from the sensory consciousness, by means of which he finally grasped the nature of the underlying cohesion between the innumerable separate units which had passed under his observation in the course of his researches. Is a formula which resumes a number of objective facts any less a reality than the facts themselves? Check this out. Is a formula which resumes a number of objective facts any less a reality than the facts themselves? Does its reality consist in the marks which as figures and letters represent it to appear upon paper? So is the words on the paper the exact thing as the experience? If I sit here and tell you about my dream, is that the exact thing as my dream as I express them in words? There's no need to answer that question. Is it the same thing? So when you conceive, that's why we're talking about this is a principle you need to understand when you're dealing with spirits. Is that spirit that you seen the exact same thing that you see? What you see, is that actually it, or is that just a representation of it? Is that the exact experience of whatever that energy is that's coming and showing itself to you, or that you're going to contact? This breaks the bridge of the human level five senses understanding and the human civilized understanding of dealing with higher forces or lower forces, whatever one, dealing with these type of energies. Is this really what's going on? You have to get the understanding and not confuse the planes. That's a principle. Stand on principle. It is not a thing in itself. Is it not a thing in itself upon its own plane? We need to Damn. Disabuse our minds of the idea that only dense matter is real. Right? I think everybody here understands that. There are many forms of energy which are not physical. Behind the physical reality, there's a psychic reality. And behind the psychic reality, there is a spiritual reality. Does that make sense? To think in terms of matter only is a bad mental habit and gives totally false outlook upon experience. The psychic reality we may define by saying, hold on. The psychic reality we may define by saying that it consists of some total of realizations, however dim that consciousness, however rudimentary, has achieved of our spiritual reality. We had best limit ourselves to saying that it consists of that. Man, she's saying a lot of shit, boy. Hold up. The psychic reality we may define by saying that it consists of the sum total of the realizations. However, dim that consciousness, however rudimentary, has achieved of the spiritual reality, we had best limit ourselves to saying that it consists of the as yet unapprehended great manifest, and that in it is the root of all being. So we experiencing the great unmanifest, hold up, of the spiritual reality. We had best limit ourselves to saying that it consists of the as yet unapprehended great manifest. So these are different levels. We all lit. We all lit in the chat over here. I know y'all listening, but damn. So we understand that just taking our five senses and understanding things through our five senses is a falsified way to look at reality, right? So that's why it's like a lot of people. That's why I say, like, when you're dealing with this spiritual shit, bro, you got to understand that you are here to have breakthroughs. I can have a breakthrough by hearing one fucking word from a book, from a fucking television show. I done gave that. I done had breakthroughs watching a fucking television show where it may not mean shit to nobody else. You see what I'm saying? Or it may not mean shit to nobody else. This is what this is about. This is not about saying the words all correctly. This is not about who's right and who's wrong. This is about your personal realizations. That is dealing, and when I say ego, I don't mean prideful, but it can go into that. But that's dealing with the ego just wanting to identify with shit. You see what I'm saying? So the ego wants to identify as the smartest man on the planet, or whatever the fuck the case, or the smartest man in a circle, the smartest man in a room. That is the logical way of thinking. That is what's will keep us from entering the higher planes, right? That's keeping us in dense matter. That's a falsified reality of reality. If you only looking at this shit from a human standpoint of, oh yeah, I know. Like, oh, I know. Like I gave y'all my breakdown of the shit that I went through, right? Nah, facts, J Bar here. That's what I'm saying. Like people gotta be careful what they thinking about all day, right? Like I gave y'all my personal realization. It was like, bro, I went through it this year and it hit me. And here we at the end of the year, it hit me at that point where I hit that point where damn, I don't know. And when you hit that point of you don't know, because your ego is gonna keep telling you, yeah, you know. Then you finally hit that point where you just gotta accept on that 32nd path, right? Acceptance that you don't know. And then a doorway of all this other shit just open up. And that cosmic P open up for you. Like, oh damn. But some people we hate feeling sufficient, like we don't know. That's a human thing, and that's okay. Sometimes people don't want to ask questions. Sometimes asking questions doesn't mean going into somebody. It can mean that, which is cool. Hitting somebody up in the inbox like, "Hey, man, I don't know what this is, and this and this and that." Or sometimes asking questions is just simply doing fucking research. just to figure out. But you have to take that in through the conscious mind, and it floods down into the subconscious mind, and your subconscious gonna spit something back out to you. But that's when you in rapport with your higher self. You know how to read the planes. You're not confused and understanding the planes. Like, this is principle. You can't, you shouldn't, I wouldn't recommend that you take your dreams literal. You see what I'm saying? It's all symbology. It's because what we say, we have a physical plane, and behind that physical plane, we have a psychic plane. Behind that psychic plane, we have a spiritual plane. Behind that spiritual plane, we have a causal plane. We have planes here. So once we get a better logical understanding um of the planes, then we can understand the psychic, the physical, even the spiritual planes, right? I want to say just seen three on a microwave. These threes. So let's tap back into it. All right. And when the psychic reality is formed through realization, the spiritual reality is not done away with. Right. So once you're done with one, once you tap into one, you don't do away with the other. They all go together. You don't throw away the shit. So now that you all high in spirit, you don't throw away the other shit. Right. Or now that you, whatever the fuck, man. Y'all get it. But remains, hold up. And when the psychic reality is formed through realization, the spiritual reality is not done away with, but remains as the underlining essence which gives validity to the whole. So the spiritual remains as the underlining under the psychic and the physical. It remains as the backdrop, as the blueprint, as the structure, as the principle behind all of it. And this is what Trevor talking when we talking about peeping the patterns. When you're peeping patterns, when you seeing the patterns, once you seeing the makeup of shit, once the shit gets the glitching, ain't that right, Hassan? Once the shit gets the glitching, you get to seeing glitches. Like, hold up, you get to seeing and peeping what this rally is consisted of. For there may be the for there may be the psychic realizations which are not realities. Hold up, check this out. The spiritual reality is not done away with, but remains as the underlying essence which gives the validity to the whole. For there may be psychic realizations which are not realities, but unrealities, because inadequate or inaccurate in and in them we may look for the root of positive evil. What the fuck is positive evil? It may it may well be asked, what practical consequence can there be for us in the work a day world as consequence of the fine spun metaphysical subsidies? When we are bearing the burden in heat of the day, what does it matter to us whether there is a psychic reality as distinguished from the thing in itself, the spiritual reality? And would it ease our burden, did we know? Would it ease your burden if you know these different planes of existence? Let's see what she says. It is upon such considerations as these that the whole structure of practical application of mind power rests. Here's where the practical application of mind power rests, right? It is in the field of psychic reality that the reasonings and the affirmations of Christian Science and the New Thought movement in general find their scope and derive their power. Is this where the New Age movement getting their shit from? Hmm? What does she say? Let's read that again. It is upon such considerations as these that the whole structure of the practical application of the mind rests. It is in the field of psychic reality that the reasons and affirmations of Christian Science and the New Thought movement in general find their scope and derive their power. It is in the field of psychic reality that the adept and the magician work by means of the traded mind. My bad. By the trained mind. For the plane of psychic reality is susceptible to mental manipulation. What are we talking about? Are we talking about Shasad? Are we talking about the plane of illusions, the storehouses of images? The storehouse of images, is that not what we're talking about? Because it's full of mental manipulations. I remember Bobby used to talk about them, or Patty and them used to talk about, like, you got to understand when you get to going up to these astral planes, which we know the physical, the etheric planes is more of, now having an understanding of the etheric planes is more of the outline form of, right, and then the astral plane fills in that form. Like, it's plenty of energies up there. They're like, why you keep talking about the universe this, the universe that, the universe gonna do this for me, the universe and that? Like, bro, do you know how many trickster energies and manipulative energies exist inside of the universe that'll come in and just take? Oh, he looking for that. Oh, let me just come in and take that. Oh, that's what he trying to do. Let me just come in and manipulate him under this aspect and make him think he really working with um um whatever spirit. You know what I'm saying? So up there, it can get very manipulative. Working the higher planes. Working the higher planes. So you need to be more direct and understand more of what you're asking for when you're dealing with these spirits, right? And how do you do that, right? Because like the word that I learned to use with Trav is updating your library of correspondences. Updating your library of correspondences, that can be very helpful when you're studying the symbology, right? And you meditating on these symbologies and get what comes to you. What comes to you. What I may meditate on a symbol, the same exact symbol as you get, and get something else from it. Like, I remember this one time, here go some shit that I went through. Because I remember somebody came on here asking about trying through they past, they tried to get through a portal or something and couldn't get in. They was turned around. I was too. But years later, I did the same meditation or spirit vision and went through the portal, and I was allowed to pass through. So some people may look at an unk as like, oh, that's just a symbol of life. A unk, right? I ain't got my, y'all know what an unk is, right? So it's a symbol of life, and it represents this, and then it represents that, and then it's actually has the Fibonacci sequence into it, and this and this and that. But like, yeah, but okay, I meditated on that, and then what happened? So you can look at it and see one thing. I look at it and get a whole different breakdown on the different spiritual planes, right? So I took it and went through the astral planes. I stared into it, and I imagined that here's a technique I like to do. If I'm looking at mantras, I'm looking at yantras, any type of symbols, right? I stare and I'm trying to see what I can give you. If you want to use what Trav just gave us, right? Dealing with the spheres on the tree of life, right? You take that, you stare into it, it makes it even easier. You use your imagination to make that shit see, like the lights in the background right here, just make that shit start to glow. I don't know. That shit worked for me. So I made it start to glow like a vibrant energy, just like type shit. And when I do that with the yantras or any type of symbolism, I'm able to project myself in through that same exact sigil or whatever the fuck the case may be. And then I have my experience. And when I went through this time, I was able to go through, and it was this deep, 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 as far as the eye can see, deep blue waters. Like, let me not say deep. It was, as far as distance, it was far as hell, but was not deep at all. It probably came up to my shin, like beautiful dark blue waters. I see it right now. These dark blue waters. And as I'm walking through, it's like it was almost like a cloud, right? It was like a thick, dense fog. It was a thick, dense fog. And I see these two large legs, black legs. I'm like, what the fuck? So you couldn't see past the fog, right? And I couldn't see past the fog, but you can tell that this human type thing started to turn around, because you can see the back of the legs, and then the legs start to turn around, and then it lifted down, It looked into my face. I wasn't even working with Yemiya at this time. Yemiya came. It was the Yemiya. Mom, big mama energy came through and sent me information telepathically. And it was just very simple. It's time. Woke up the next goddamn morning. Woke up the next morning. It was a whole new day. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? And I never forget these deep blue waters. So I keep a representation around me dealing with yin and yang. I wasn't even tapping into yin and yang energy, but that was that yin and yang energy when we dealing with these deep blue waters. So before I tried to get through, she showed up again that first time. She wasn't large. She was my same size. The same unk that I went through. Like, oh, what are you talking about? Unk, that has nothing to do with the Orisha or the Ephi deity. Like, what how did the hell did Yemiyan come through? You see what I'm saying? So it gets to working. The point I'm trying to make here, it may come different to you. So if you meditate and tap into it, your mind construct is set up totally different, right? Your some scholars, your mental impressions may be different than mine. So you would get a personal breakthrough. You see what I'm saying? That's why nobody can tell you how to do occult shit, because your occult breakthroughs on your personal level is going to be different from mine. See, we can get a kind of a grasp of where you're going. Does that line up with certain principles? Yeah, but you're not dedicated to have the same experience that I had. Hold on, let's see what J. Bob here said before we continue reading. I walked face first into a spider web early one morning and got the exact same message from Lilith this time. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? You can get the same shit. And it means the same thing on a different planes, right? But he got it from walking through a fucking spider web. This shit is this shit is unrecognizable to the logical mind. Well, that's not what the spider web means. Look, let's look at the history of spider webs and how to technically you don't even say spider webs in English. Like, there's no reason for us to go through that type of shit. Don't block yourself. You see what I'm saying? You got to be open. Hold on, let's see. I did that. Curve say I did that with the Ganesh song, the mantra, while watching the symbol in meditation position. I started seeing correspondence throughout the days after. This is what this shit is about. This is what this shit is about. This is what this shit is about. So y'all know with my number 17, right? I did a whole meditation dealing with Hod, right? Dealing with Tahuti, right? And I also found out there can be a connection with this guy here. Uh-oh. What I do to my camera, y'all? Damn. Now I done fucked my camera up. Trying to show y'all Ganesh. Hold up. Can y'all still hear me though? Let me know if y'all can still hear me. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. Damn, I fucked up. Hold up, y'all. I'm gonna have to go to settings. Turn the camera back on, bro. There you go. All right, I'm back. But yeah, man, I'm trying to show y'all a little Ganesh and then how I end up relating me about Ganesh coming through heavy, which is why now I got my whole Ganesh altar set up. You know what I'm saying? Because it started coming through. So make these breakthroughs on those planes, and then a whole bunch of series of what's the word? I want to use the exact word that he correspondences start coming through and showing its way through. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Zero. Spiders will follow me that whole winter. I did a ritual with Sheev with a hold up. Let's see what Zero say. I did a ritual with Shiva symbol with incense and candles and look intensely to the Bindu, and the symbol started to disappear. And when I off the candle, when he turned off the candle, everything turned absolute darkness. This is what we're talking about. Like real shit, Curve. This is it. Honestly, after certain experiences, ain't no way to turn back. After Zero had this experience, ain't no way for him to go back the other goddamn way. It ain't no going back after this shit, bro. That's what I be saying. Like the experience a nigga didn't have, bro. Like it's either gonna send your ass to the church or the crazy house. You're either going back to church or you're going to the crazy house after these certain experiences. It's just that on that. I feel that nothingness dimension, even the perception of myself disappeared. And when I finish the rest of the day, I feel ultra focus and ultra peace. Look at the words he uses. Ultra. My favorite person told me how they had a what's the name, and matter of fact, she said it in the chat about how she stared herself into the mirror until she just disappeared. But you can't go back. You can't go back after these type of experiences. You can't go back after these type of experiences. Come on, man. Nothing will ever be the same, right? Nothing ever is going to be the same for you. These are y'all personal experiences. This is what we're saying here. This is a congregation here for those with like minds who have these type of experiences. This is a platform where that happens, right? This is a space where that can happen in. Because everybody around you don't get you. Am I lying? Nobody around you gets you. You don't have these conversations. Some people can't even have these conversations with their significant other, which I understand. So we need to create that space, right, where we have like-minded individuals. Let's continue, y'all. The inhabitants of the unseen. However, whoever contacts the invisible world, whether by the it's on the page. Whoever contacts the invisible world, whether by the means of his own psychism or by employing the psychism of another as a channel of evocation, my bad, or by employing the psychism of another as a channel we already said that, of evocation, has need of some system of classification in order that he may be able to understand the varied phenomena with which he will meet. Not all of them are due to spirits of the departed. There are other denizens of the invisible world than those who have once had a human form. So it's not just the dearly departed, our dead ancestors and all this and that. It's not just that we are able to get in contact with through our different levels of psychism, right? Nor are all the phenomena due to the subconscious mind entirely subjective. Confusion arises when that which should be assigned to one division is allocated to another. See, this is confusing the plane she's about to get into. You don't want to do that. Hold up, let me highlight that. Now, we actually gonna read that part again. What did she just say? Not all of them are due to the spirits of the departed. There are other denizens of the invisible world than those who have once had human form, nor are all the phenomena due to the subconscious mind entirely. Hold up. Nor are all the phenomena due to the subconscious mind entirely subjective. Confusion arises when that which should be assigned to one division is allocated to another. It can be clearly shown that the explanation which is offered does not account for the facts. Nevertheless, the facts are not disposed of by showing the explanation to be fallacious, right? A correct classification would yield an explanation which can stand up to any impartial investigation and be justified of its own wisdom, of its be justified of its wisdom. The classification which is proposed to employ in these pages is drawn largely from the traditional occult sources. It is believed that it will throw a light on certain experiences meant by psychic research workers. It is offered in a spirit of cooperation as independent testimony to a common experience. Let's see. Don Tree, peace, peace, peace. S.O. motherfucking P. Happy birthday, brother. Happy belated. We still gonna let you celebrate. Sunshine Chick, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Cosmic P pushes in a building. Let's see. Let's see what Wayne say. Some would say experience is vain, but it provides the energy to go on. Gotta strive for experience. Damn, Wayne, I don't know what IMO means. In my opinion, haha, I got it. Yeah, no, facts though. No, facts though. It's the experience. I mean, because what else do we technically really have to go off of? If you ain't having no experiences, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, we just going off complete logic. Let me go blow this goddamn I got this oil going. God damn it, that shit strong. Hold up, y'all. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Oh, yo, yo, yo. All right, can y'all hear me? Let me know, y'all. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Pushing comic P. This is what we standing on. Let's see who over here on IG. Need to get that ass over here on UT or YT YouTube. Y'all ass to YouTube. All right. Let's see. Let's push it on over here to this next one. This where we at right here. Number one, the souls of the departed. Woo-hoo. Let's see what double OG, triple OG, Miss Fortune got to say. All of the inhabitants of the invisible worlds, of all of the inhabitants of the invisible worlds, the ones with which it is easiest for us to get in touch with are the so. See, let's see if this page said on here. My shit says instead of saying soul, it says soak, SOUK. Like, come on, man. What is that? See, it says SOUK on here too. See these reprints? I be fucking up words, but these reprints be so goddamn. Like they be fucking the words up. Man, have you feel like you don't know what the fuck you reading. Or the so, but I know for a fact that shit is supposed to say soul, right? Are the souls of human beings who have shed their outer garments of flesh, right? Those are the easiest ones to get in contact with. Either temporarily or permanently, anyone who is familiar with a spiritualistic or esoteric thought soon becomes habituated to the idea that a man is not changed by death. The personality remains. It is only the body that is gone. Are you hearing this? So what does that mean? What this means is when you die, all you have left is your mind. What did she just say? Let's read this again and we're going to do some commentary on that. Of all the inhabitants of the invisible worlds, the ones with which it is easiest for us to get in touch with are the soul of human beings who have shed their outer garments of flesh, either temporarily or permanently. Anyone who is familiar with the spiritualistic or the esoteric thought soon becomes habituated to the idea that a man is not changed by death. The personality remains. It is only the body that is gone. When you die, all you have is your mind. When you leave this bitch, all you have is your mind and those mental samskaras. That's what continues on the next plane. So if you was a fearful, scary motherfucker on this plane, you probably gonna have that. If you was a horn dog, freaky motherfucker, and it was really heavy on you as part of your personality, that's not gonna change. So this is why it's important to do the work while you're here. This is why it's important to do the work and get your mind together while you're here. This is why it's important to go through the stresses while you're here. This is why it's important to stand on principle while you here. Because once you leave, if you integrate these principles, right? If you integrate this cosmic P while you still here, and it becomes um a thought form or a mental construct inside of your mind, you're gonna take it to the next stage. You're gonna take it to the next plane of existence. I know for a fact if like from doing my ancestor work, you know what I'm saying? I have a family member who was a drug abuser, right? And when they went into the next plane of existence, they were still on drugs. They're just now getting past that stage. This is facts. It may sound woo-hoo to some people, how you know, but this is facts. My ancestor was able to move on and break that habit. How did I know? Because as I started to evolve, my ancestor evolved as well. You got to understand, you down here putting in the work to help them. Sometimes it's not about your ancestor being here back there pushing you over here. It's like, no, you may be doing the work here to help those ones a part of your bloodline, a part of your whatever family evolve by you evolving here and breaking through psychological blockages here. This helps them. Remember that. Do the work. Stand on motherfucking principle. All right, J by here. They should have known as hell these fucked up words. The esotericist, in his concept of nature of departed souls, distinguishes between those who are going through the internatal phase, that is to say, who are living in the non-physical world between incarnations. So you got some who's living in between, who's sitting there in between incarnations. What do they call that? And those who will not incarnate again. Let's get that down. Yeah. So the esotericist in his concept of nature of departed soul distinguishes between those who are going through the internatal phase, that is to say, who are living in a non-physical world in between incarnations, right? And those who will not incarnate again. There was a great difference. Hold up. There's a great difference in capacity and outlook between these two types of souls. In many of these issues at present understandings, hold up. In many of these issues at present understandings between spiritualism and occultism are undoubtedly due to the failure to recognize this fact. Let's see what you're saying. You leave with all the mental attachments. My grandparents and my parents died with all shadow that I work. Hold up. With all the shadow that I work daily. I think I understand what you're saying, Zero. I think I do. See, Zero's first language is not English. So sometimes we gotta work with Zero to get to make sure. I think I understand what you're saying though. Okay, you leave with all the mental attachment. My dad, my grandparents died with all the shadow that I will work. Oh, saying you will work through it daily. Like you'll be putting in the work for them to be able to progress through the next. I got you. Got you. Got you. Got you, Zero. The occultist does not maintain that existence is an eternal sequence of birth and death. Hold up. The occultist does not maintain that existence is an eternal sequence of birth and death, but that at a certain phase of evolution, the soul enters upon a series of material lives, and through the development made through these lives, it finally outgrows the mundane phase of evolution, becoming more and more spiritualized towards the end of this period until finally it wins its freedom from matter and reincarnates no more, continuing its existence as a disembodied spirit with a human mind. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Did y'all that made sense, right? All right, let's do that one more time though. The cultist does not maintain that existence is an internal sequence of birth and death, right? But eternal sequence of birth and death. But that at a certain phase of evolution, the souls, so we don't believe that you're just going to keep down and come back, keep down and come back, keep down and come back. There's going to be a point where you dissolve your karma and you won't have to actually come back into this bitch, right? Going to that, what they say that's what ascended masters go, the sphere of Hasid, right? There, hold up, down. But that a certain phase of evolution, the soul at a certain phase of evolution, the souls enter upon a series of material lives, and through the development made during these lives. So during the work that you put in during these lives, what we're talking about here, the work, if you evolve in everything around you, right? If you evolve in yourself and everything around you is evolving, right? Your elementals, the people around you, the people on the YouTube is evolving and having breakthroughs, right? If you putting in the work on the inner planes, right? And through the development made and through in the development made through these lives, it finally outgrows the mundane phase of evolution, becoming more and more spiritualized towards the end of this period, towards the end of these incarnations. You become more. This was look at the people here. Look at the people in the chat. Look what everybody's saying. You don't think you're coming upon that? I don't have the authority to be able to say, hey, this your last incarnation. No, because I can't even say that about my goddamn self. But what I do know is the motherfucker's getting closer and closer. Who knows what it actually looks like when it's your last physical incarnation? Who knows? Can anybody tell you that? But we can have some speculation to a degree, like, oh, this motherfucker here. And then it's one thing to say, because we all know, right? When you're dealing with spiritual shit, some shit you have experienced. I know there's people out here in the chat or rewatching this video. Some shit you have experienced, you just can't explain with the logical mind. It's just inexplainable, right? So who is to say what level of evolution you're on? Who is to say that you are an undergrad or that you're in elementary? Because these are the mental impressions of the links of what we call the Akashic records that date back, that go back. You don't know what the fuck you done. You probably done did all that. Now you got to come back and be a stripper. You may be the most evolved. You don't know how this shit work. You may have to come back and be a stripper or a lot lizard or a drug addict or alcoholic or a man abuser or a woman abuser. You don't know. You don't know. We just know. We grow and stand on principle. Let's see what the chat say. Yes, totally, totally. It's totally. Sorry for the English. I try my best to do better. Hey, you good at it though, Zero. You good, bro. You good, bro. I'm here to try to make sure that I get that understanding. So you're in a safe place, bro. Don't even worry. Everybody else out here understands. But Zero's English is still better than some people who have had it for their first language. Yeah, it might be including me. I'm able to make it happen. Hold up. I'm able to make it happen is inexplicable. Shit, I'm able to make it happen is inexplicable. It's true. These patterns, man. Hey, the stripper even moves in a pattern. The stripper even moves in the pattern. I said that shit. People ain't like that. I said something about a stripper. They ran up out of here, but you don't know the phase of evolution that's going on here. You see what I'm saying? You can't judge a person's phase of evolution. I mean, but we can see who's able to grasp these type of concepts in this, like in this incarnation, right? So we may have some form of being able to say, huh, that person may be in advance this and this and this and that. By the way that people move, think, and have their experiences, but it's really wholly the internal experience that you're having. Okay. Becoming more and more spiritualized towards the end of this period until finally it wins its freedom from matter and reincarnates no more, continuing its existence as a disembodied spirit with a human mind. Mentally, the occultist maintains, hold up, mentally, the occultist maintains can only be obtained through incarnation in a human form. Some of this you can only do in human form. Why is that? Because the human has enough control over its environment versus a rock. Because rock has consciousness versus a blade of grass. Blade of grass has consciousness versus a body of water. Body of water has consciousness. Cats, dogs, rats, and pigs have consciousness. Mentally, the occultist maintains can only be can only be obtained through incarnation in human form. Those beings who have not undergone this experience got mentally have not got mentally as we understand it. What does that mean? Those beings who have undergone this experience have not got mentally as we understand it. Have not got mentally. What the fuck? Oh, with certain expectations, which we will consider later. See, here's the thing, bro. When you have these reprint books, the words be so fucked up. She says she's going to explain later. For the most part, it is the souls of the living dead who are contacted in the same seance room. Liberated souls go on to their other hold up. Liberated souls go on to their own place and are not so easily reached. Hear that. Hear that. Liberated souls go on to a place and are not so easily reached. Damn, I feel like we're just talking about this in a conversation. Now we go beyond this, right? Certain souls end up going way beyond this. When these souls go way beyond for your average person to be able to reach, Now my chat then disappeared. God damn it, y'all. I can't see shit in the chat now. They okay, probably mentally. Let's read that again then, y'all. Mentally, the human occultist maintain. Okay, then that's what we was reading. Those beings who have not undergone this experience have not mentally, have not meant, have not got it mentally as we understand it, with certain expectations, which will be considered later. For the most part, it is the souls of the living dead who are contacted in the seance room. Liberated souls go on to their own place and are not so easily reached. So when you get to that point where you liberated from bondage, you don't want to be dealing with humans, bro. Think about that. You think you want to be dealing with humans? You think you want to be dealing with humans? You don't want to be dealing with fucking humans. See? You don't want to be dealing with humans, bro. You get to that certain state. I'm at this point now. Majority of us right now don't want to be dealing with fucking humans. So imagine a motherfucker calling on you every day. Hey, how do I pay my rent? Hey, how do I do this? Hey, how do I do this? And hey, how do I? God damn, nigga, leave me alone, bro. I'm up here chilling in the unmanifested reality to you. Like, god damn. So think about that. Liberated souls go into their own place and are not so easily reached. You're gonna have to put in some work. Oh shit. Zero says, even I meet a person that I'm sure is a version of me in a woman body. She went through a lot of hard things. She was diagnosticated since birth with autism, bipolar, and mental disassociation. And she had abuse in all possible ways. And I love her see much. Yes, you love her a lot because it's a deep reflection of me. Oh, I'm reading the other one. It's a deep reflection of me, but I understand the most profound and powerful way to help her is to do the inner work. And today, she improved a lot of her in her life. Hold on. And she improved a lot in her life. I recently talked to her and really made me feel so happy. Twin flames are possible, but they're all way different from what I'll say about it. It really tests your self love. Now, facts, zero. It'll definitely test your self love. That's real shit. Yeah, other people help you strengthen your connection with yourself. That's what love is totally about. Because everything is God, right? So God reflects itself through people around you. That's why when you evolve, everyone around you should be evolving, right? Zero. So you helping that person evolve, and that person is helping you evolve because it's only you anyway. It's only God. That's all that really exists on a holistic level, right? That's a beautiful thing, Zero. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hold up. All right. So we know that liberated souls go on to their own place and are not so easily reached. Only those returning in rank, only those, only those return within range of the Earth sphere who have some business here. So some people come back to help motherfuckers evolve. Those would be your spiritual teachers, right? This decision of that point would open up a vast field of interest, which we cannot deal with at the moment. Dion Fortune always do this. She'll drop some shit and then tell you she can't deal with it. So your ass can keep reading. Dig that. It must suffice to say that, as is well known to all the workers in the psychic research, there are souls of a higher type than those commonly encountered, who are connected with the evolution of humanity and the training of those who are willing to cooperate with them in their work. Hint, hint, those who come back down, and then some who are on that level, on those planes, who are not so, who are different in degree, right? And they have some business back here, right? And they business back here is help those who are on this level of evolution to be able to evolve by sending them through trainings. So spirits can come through these books, spirits can come through these YouTube, spirits can come through whatever in in whatever plane of existence that you can tap into and help you put the work in. So typically, I remember, I don't know if Dion Fortune said it or not, but like typically a teacher will, like, it's like sending out a signal, right? It's like these spirits send signals out, or these mind forms or thought forms of unincarnated beings or minds, the unincarnated minds send out a signal like a radio station, and anybody who's able to pick up on them on a psychic level, on a subconscious level, pick up on them. They pick up on them and receive the information, downloads, right? This is how this works. I let my subconscious or the unconscious mind end up bring me into certain books, figure out it's certain words, it's certain text, certain numbers. You know what I'm saying? They go to number 8. You know what I'm saying, or whatever the case it may be, that show up on the subtle planes or the unconscious, not the unconscious mind, but the dream or the astral plane, the etheric and the physical plane. You'll be contacted. That's how I got that spiral sigil. I don't even see it. I don't know where the fuck I put it at. That's not cool. This sigil here. Huh? That's how I got that. By means of a psychic transmission. I picked up and it was received. I've told that story a million goddamn times, so no point of going there. Let's see. In the training of those who are willing to cooperate with them in their work, we may say we may say then that the soul of the departed may be divided into three types. The souls of the living dead who will return again to life, to earth life. Highlightable. We may say then that the souls of the departed may be divided into three types: the souls of the living dead who will return. Who will return again to earth life. Then we have the liberated souls who have outgrown earth life and have gone to another sphere of existence. And the liberated souls who have gone on return again to the earth sphere because they have work to do therein. Hopefully, y'all heard that. So we have the liberated, we have the souls. We have three types of souls. We got the souls that go and then come back because they gotta continue doing the work. And then we have liberated souls who have gone on to another sphere of existence. They're just done with it, period. They've evolved, right? And then we have those liberated souls who are evolved but come back to help those who are still here or just incarnated to evolve. A recognition of these three types of departed souls will serve to explain many of the discrepancies we encounter between the statements of spiritualists and occultists. Pay attention, y'all. The occultists aim chiefly at getting in touch with the liberated souls for the purposes of specific work in which he and they are concerned. The occultist aims chiefly at getting in touch with the liberated souls for the purposes of specific work in which both he and they are concerned. One comment right there, Curve. They are concerned. For the most part, he leaves the souls of the living dead severely alone. For the most part, I'm leaving the souls of the living dead alone. Me personally. I am in the opinion that he is mistaken in doing so. Me personally, you are mistaken for doing so. Hold up. My bad. I'm reading it the wrong way, y'all. Hold up. He leaves the souls of the living dead severely alone. Me personally, I am in the opinion that he is mistaken in doing so. It is quite true that they can be of little assistance to him in his chosen work, but the normal companionship of the living, but the normal companionship of the living with the dead robes, my bad, that's Rob. Hold up. It is quite true that they can be of little of assistance, right, to him in his chosen work, but the normal companionship of the living with the dead robs death of most of its terrors and is steadily building a bridge between those who remain and those who have passed over. It's a bridge. So the aliens on Mars, Saturn, etc. are the liberated souls. Yeah, I don't know, J. Body Hill. We're gonna have to summon up some goddamn aliens, the Martians and the Saturnians, and see. Hey, is y'all liberated over there or what? The occultist should certainly not invite the cooperation of the living dead as he would do that of the liberated souls. So the occultist should certainly not invite the cooperation of the living dead as he would that of the liberated soul. When we talk about the living dead, we talking about the one that's that just ain't got no body to incarnate in yet. That should be coming back on some regular human shit, right? But he should not do that in the same way that he would do other liberated souls, for they have their own work to do. Nor can he place as much reliance on their knowledge and insight as on that of those who are free from the will of birth and death. Do you hear me? This goes into y'all ancestors. Let me, let me, let me highlight this and repeat that. So here we go. Okay, say leave them folks alone. They got work to do. Here we go. This is what I'm saying. So when you're dealing with your ancestors, like, oh, my ancestors, I'm not against working with ancestors, right? But you should be, in my eyes, from what I understood and what I have had experience with, not read in a book only, but what I have had experience with is they need help. Your ancestors need. Let me pull this shit up. So look, here's my thing. When you dealing with ancestors, based off what we just read, based off of my fucking experience, right? And what I've seen in the astral planes. When you dealing with your ancestors need more help, right? Because what do we say? When you leave, you die, your mind goes with you. The personality goes with you. So that same mind and same information, those same levels that you have rose up on a physical plane or that you did not raise up on when you were in a physical body, it still stands when you go outside of a physical body. You still have that same personality, you still have that same amount of knowledge, you still have that same amount of wisdom and understanding. So if you are one of the family members who's that black outcast and the sheep, and your ass is doing the work and getting understanding of the different planes and working with this and working with this spirit and understanding and evolving this aspects of you, you are going to be the one that helped that ancestor. They have the same mind that they had when they left. They was worried about white people doing this and black people doing that and paying rent on, you know what I'm saying? Just some mundane shit. Or don't date this type of girl, or don't date this, or and don't do this. And when you die, you better leave some money for your, like, they worrying about that type of shit. So they didn't get this level of information. So when they die, what did she say here? The occultist should certainly not invite the cooperation of the living dead as he would do the liberated souls, for they have their own work to do. Nor can he place much reliance on their knowledge and insight as that of those who are free from the will of birth and death. They don't have the same amount of knowledge. You trying to contact your ancestors, and your ancestors got work to do. You will be better off trying to help them. You shouldn't be relying on the knowledge that you get from those ancestors if they have not evolved to that point of where you're trying to go. Depends on your level. Do what the fuck you want to do. I'm just saying, from my experience and what I'm reading and what I have read through other shit and heard other people say dealing with ancestor work, right? It's not that they ain't shit. Obviously they are, motherfucker. It's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you're not going to be able to rely on them from some old cosmic understanding, some cosmic deep shit, like some breakthroughs type shit. That's not what we talking about. You may not be able to get that with dealing with straight from the ancestors, most recent ancestors. But we understand, and when they living in these planes of existence, they do evolve. They do go up through different stages and different forms. That is possible, right? But they have, like she just said, they have their own work to do. It's different from contacting a liberated soul, right? A liberated soul who is removed from the cycle of from the will of birth and death, from the cycle of incarnation and reincarnation, right? There's a difference. You need to understand that. Don't confuse the planes. Exactly. I do things to honor them and have an altar set up, but I do not expect anything from them. Perfect. Perfect. Because guess what she finna say right here. Hold up. They still got the programming. That's like ain't nobody on, man. Hey man. Hey man. That's just what it is, bro. Motherfuckers need to hear that. Facts, bro. One more time. We're gonna run it back for one more time for the new person that just came in. The occultists should certainly not invite the cooperation of the living dead as they would the liberated souls, for they have their own work to do. Nor can he place much reliance on their knowledge and insight as that of those who are free from the will of birth and death. Neither has he any right to try to use them as elemental spirits. You trying to use your ancestors as elemental spirits, brother? Are you trying to do that, brother? Well, hey, brother, in the course of his experiments, you should not be trying to do that in the course of your experiments. Admitting these qualifications, however, there seems no reason why the occultist should not share in the interchange of amenities with his continually. Hold up. There is no reason why the occultist should not share in the interchange of amenities, which is continually taking place across the borderline. After all, death is one of the processes of life taking place across the border. Death is one of the processes of life, and the dead are very much alive and quite normal, nigga. They very normal. You think they ain't normal over there? They have the same mind. If you've done it, if you got in contact over on that other side, they have the same mind, the same human shit. They just don't have a body. If you in the chat, man, I need to get some SOPs. I can't continue to read to the next one unless I get some SOPs. Y'all drop some SOPs in the chat. Because next we're going to projections of the living, then the angelic hierarchies, and then we get into the elementals. Got one SOP. Oh, we got multiple SOPs. I just want to make sure my folks in here with me. We standing on principle. I just seen the other comment occur talking about some NPC. SOP. SOP. Standing on principle. We standing on the principles. These are the principles. Love your AZW. Peace, peace, peace. I didn't know you was in a motherfucking place to be. But we got to understand, love your ancestors and honor your ancestors, right? Because as you evolve, they can evolve as well. But you got to understand they got their own work to do. So they just not in the body. So they still got to go through the motions of getting understandings, right? They still got to go through the motions of getting understandings. If you get understandings and you can shoot some information over there, like if you can share some of the amenities with them, some of the knowledge with them, they help update their system. SOP. Peace to everybody in the motherfucking chat. We stand in principle. Let's check over here on IG. They be over here on IG, but they don't come from IG to come over here to UT. Oh, some people did though. Oh shit. Let's go into projections of the living. Damn, I ain't even got the page showing up, y'all. Hold up. How many? I don't even think y'all reading this shit from the page. No goddamn way from the screen. But where we at? Now we on projections of the living. Projections of the living. What does it say? The appearance of the simulacrum of a human being is at a point of death. Hold up. The appearance of a simulacrum of a human being at the point of death is exceedingly common and innumerable. well attested instances exist out of occurrence. It is not so well known, however, that it is possible for the simulacrum or astro-etheric form to be projected voluntarily by the trained occultist. Such projections in proportion to the host of disembodiment. Hold up. Blah, 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 blah. It is not so well known, however, that it is possible for the simulacrum or astro etheric form to be projected voluntarily by the trained occultist. You hear that? Astro etheric. So your etheric projections into the astro projections, right? Etheric first and then astro. Shout out etheric, SOP. To be projected voluntarily by the trained occultist. Such projections in proportion to the host of disembodied souls encountered when the threshold is crossed. Therefore, they must be included in many classifications which aim at being comprehensive. Usually, such a projected soul appears to be entirely preoccupied with its own affairs and in a state of absorption, which causes it to appear to ignore its surroundings. Did you hear that? Usually, such a projected soul appears to be entirely preoccupied with its own affairs and in a state of absorption, which causes it to appear to ignore its surroundings. As a matter of fact, it most frequently happens that this disembodied spirit has its work cut out to maintain consciousness at all higher planes. In itself, absorption is that of the beginner on a bicycle, nigga. The self-absorbed spirits, disembodied spirits, is showing how high it's gotten on its evolution, right? It's a beginner on a bicycle. Occasionally, communication may be established between such a projected etheric body and a group of experimenters, and very interesting results are obtained. But unless there is a sufficient materialization to render the simulacrum visible to the non psychic, the experiment will partake rather of the nature of telepathy grafted upon mediumship. Where am I at? The experiment will partake rather of the nature of the telepathy grafted upon mediumship than of a true projection of astro etheric form. Such visitants are neither angels nor devils, all human, but human to all human. Nickelodeon. All right. If anyone is looking for the physical power that includes the aspect of, let me know. I can help. You see, we got help in here. Oh, shit. All right, let's get here. It says, now we're on to 3, the angelic hierarchies. The average Protestant has a very dim notation concerning the angelic hierarchies, the great host of beings of another evolution than ours. The hosts. Can we talk about that? When we talking about the hosts, this is the archangel or the angelic. And let me not make sure we're not talking about the archangels, but I think that's what we are going to, the archangels. So the average Protestant has a very dim notation concerning the angelic hierarchy, the great host of beings of another evolution than ours, though children of the same heavenly Father. The Kabbalah, however, is explicit on this point and classifies them into the 10 archangels. We got Xenophon, Ratziel, Zadkiel, Henry Ariel. Let me see some more. Raphael, Gabriel, Sandalphon, Michael, Kamael, Zapkiel, Ashe. The Kabbalah, however, is explicit on this point and classifies them to 10 archangels and 10 orders of angelic beings. Buddhist, Hindu, and Mohammedan theology are equally explicit, right? We may therefore reckon that in this agreement of witnesses, there is a surety of testimony. What she always say about, like, if something rang true, there has to be a witnessed testimony, right? Agreements and testimony with witnesses, right? And it may, which means it checks out across the board. These principles that I talk about, SOP, stand on motherfucking principles, must check out across the board. I may be saying it in a different word and manner because I got a hip hop culturistic background, but these principles reign true through all these systems. Same thing, different word. It's the context, not the content. Shout out to LVX777. We may therefore reckon that in this agreement of witness there is a surety of testimony, and it may serve our purpose best to take for our guide that the system from which Christianity took its ride, which is mystic Judaism, right? We will not get into the elaborate classification employed by the Jewish rabbis, which have their importance for purposes of magic, but are not germane to our present issue. It is enough that we realize that there are divinely created beings of varying degrees of greatness. All right. From the mighty archangel whom St. John the Divine saw standing in the sun, down to the nameless heavenly messengers who have from time to time visited mankind. How do you think they visit? Do you think they show up as angels, y'all? What y'all think? Beyond the spheres to which are assigned the disembodied, behind the spheres to which are assigned the disembodied spirits of humanity, dwell these heavenly beings. And in some high ranges of spiritual scripts, there is much concerning them that is of great interest. It is said that that these beings are perfect. It is said by the rabbis that these beings are perfect, each after their kind, but they do not evolve. But they do not evolve, and it is noticeable that they are non-intellectual. Did y'all hear what she's saying? These angels do not evolve. Wasn't it some shit that they talked about how the angels were kind of jealous of the human beings? The human beings get to evolve. The angels these archangels just get to be what the fuck they are. They don't get to go up. They don't get to evolve to something new. You human beings, you may be talking about being a human and may have problems with being a human, but being a human, you get to evolve, while these other entities or these other energies don't get to evolve. Didn't they say, like, the ones on earth say the gods are in heaven, and the ones in heaven say the gods are on earth, nigga? And we know this when we study the tree of life. God has made manifest itself down here to Malkuth, nigga. Let's see. I think they show up, however, is most useful and appropriate to the person or group of encountering them. Type of answer I like here right there. AZW says facts. Facts. They don't get to evolve like you, but they help you evolve. So they are non-intellectual. One might almost call them divine robots. Do you see this? You niggas want to get to talking about AI, and you mad at AI. Dion Fortune, she died in the fucking early 1900s. She's talking about robots. Hold on, let's find it. It is best at the right at the beginning of their kind. They're not evolved intellectual. One might almost call them divine robots, each strictly conditioned by its own nature, therefore perfectly to fulfill the office for which it was created, free from all struggle and inner conflict, but changeless and therefore unevolving. Let's get to some robot talk, right? Damn, I don't want to say it because it's coming in a new video, but I'll say it while everybody here. Think about this, man. We get to get digging into somebody left when they hear me from the talk about robots, but this is what it is. So check this out. We always, like when we do meditations and we find out about these deep knowledge, I am not my body. I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. But we're not our body. We're not our thoughts. We're not our emotions. So we are not our five senses, right? We're pure consciousness, right? That's what we like to say. We're pure. We pure consciousness. You are not this body, brother, sister. You are more divine than this body, this human body, and this and that. So if we're pure consciousness, what the fuck are these robots? They just strictly do what they're set to do. They don't have emotions. They don't have thoughts. Are you hearing what I'm going with? They don't have emotions. They are not the body. They are not the thought. They are not that hardware that these robots or these artificial intelligence are put in. They're not that hardware. They're just pure. They're just a computer. See, I'm watching a show called Pantheon right now. Curve watching this shit too. It's a good ass show, Pantheon. It's on Netflix. It's dealing with AI and human consciousness. So instead of artificial intelligence, they're talking about uploaded intelligence, where the human uploads their brain to the intelligence, right? Not no shit that I'm into, but nonetheless, I'm the observer, right? Taking in observations, right? But what is it that's going on here? You're not your body, you're not your thoughts, you're not this. Your robot is not the body, is not the thoughts, is not that. It's completely on program, completely running on program. Is that not what the archangels are doing? Is that not what the archangels are doing? Yeah, J. By Hill, it's anime. Is that not what the archangels are doing? Completely running off strict program. I just want you to think about that. I don't want to go too deep because I got a video coming with that. Yeah, Curve said it's just about to say AI. Interesting shit. So, AI is the Antichrist, or is it? Or maybe it is. Depends on what's your version of Antichrist. That's how I always understood them, as in a way. He said I left on accident. Chill, bro. I don't know what you talking about, Curry. Yeah, Jay by here. That's what I've been putting up on my story lately. They tapping into some shit. You know, it ain't the most profound shit, but it's some shit though, and it's popping up perfectly because right now is what I'm getting into for my new presentation. Gonna tap into some AI shit. Like what Trav was about to get into. I'm like, oh, shit, is he gonna get into it? Is he gonna get into it? Okay, he didn't want to go too far because it's a lot of spiritual folks out here who can't take this shit when you get to talking about AI and spirituality. Like, bro, truth is stranger than fiction. Whatever the fuck that shit is. Okay, I've been finished it 2 weeks ago. Curve said he finished it 2 weeks ago, but I literally correlate. Hold up, damn, hold up. Let me read. I gotta get up here. Hold up. Damn, a lot of comments coming in. You said I've been finished it 2 weeks ago, but I literally correlated the death. That scene you posted today, it was my fave, and in how they are able to travel through the internet. I look at it as one of the planes that. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's hard as fuck though. That's why they badass. Real shit. Khashoggi, peace. Standing on motherfucking principle. Jay Harris, peace. Let y'all can both of y'all drop some SOPs in the chat. Showing up. You had said someone left you when you started talking about the AI shit. That was you that left. Oh my bad, girl. My bad. What chapter we in? We are in chapter 6. We in chapter 6. I don't know if you got the book. But I do got it up on the screen. I know you don't see the chapter, so I was gonna tell you what page, but it may be different in your book because this is a reprint. I know my shit different than J. By here shit. J. By here got a whole different another page. But we dealing with the angelic hierarchies right here in chapter 6. Jay Harris, appreciate you for showing up, bro. Appreciate you for showing up. Support, appreciate you. He said he got the PDF. All right, bet. So I do a little bit more commentary while Jay Harris pull it up. But yeah, y'all. When we get to dealing with this AI shit, this shit is stranger than what the fuck you think it is, man. And I hate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you have to come into the only way you're gonna have to come and be able to then dealt with this 30-second path and just be able to come into acceptance. See what I'm saying? Because you can't sit here and say, like, what is a soul? Like, that's the main thing people like to say. AI don't have a soul. Like, what the fuck is a soul? Right? Consciousness, right? We know everything has to have consciousness, right? That's a principle. So if everything has a consciousness, the rocks and the minerals and the whatever source that they use to build up AI has to have some form of consciousness. We talked about this. I like looking at like a lot of the videos. I like looking at. This is part of the weirdest shit that I do, but I know I ain't that weird because these videos be having millions of views, so y'all need to be watching it too. Is watching these people with their animals and their dogs. Y'all be seeing them animals, they be doing shit with their humans, and somebody do a voiceover, and you be like, bro, this is I know this exactly what that fucking dog is saying, bro. Like people be doing the voiceovers over them goddamn dogs and cats and them all them animals. I'm like, bro, you can look at the dog and tell this exactly what they saying, bro. Like they evolving with humans, so everything around us is evolving. Regardless if we conscious of it and we calling ourselves gods or not, we evolving the things around us. How long has human being been in contact with computer systems? How long has human being been in contact with the internet? We go back to AOL dial up, which means evolution is evolving faster. Time is happening faster, or is it that more events are happening in a shorter period of time? I don't want to get into that because that's going to be in my presentation. I don't want to get in there. That's going to be into my presentation. If something, hold on, what's say Curve say? If something is playing its part, it has some form of consciousness. It has to, right? Change yourself and change the world. Let's see what Kachak. That's right, Hasaja. That's right. Change yourself. If you evolve and everything around you is evolving, and everything around you is evolving, that means the world is evolving. Your world is evolving. Whichever one that suits you better. What entity is AI challenging? Challenging. Would you say technology itself is a portal, or who is on the other end? So I'm going to go. I don't want to spill out my beans what I'm talking about, but there was something right here. I don't know, maybe y'all seen this before already. NASA, hold on. Scientists detect parallel universe next to ours where time runs backwards. Where time runs backwards. In what we read, based off of what we read in Outside the Circles of Time, The Night Side of Eden, I would say they could say it's a parallel universe. I would say, who's to say it's not the great old ones? Who's to say it's not the great old ones? Who's to say it's not the Titans? Who's to say it's not the Necronomicons? I'm looking to see who dropped off. Ain't nobody dropped down. Who's to say? Right? And Kasagi, I'm trying not to go too deep in detail because I'm gonna bring that up inside the video I'm gonna do. Right? So I'm trying not to go too deep into it. That's all. So I'm being elusive on purpose. But who's to say, right? Because everything has consciousness, right? So we'll see, y'all. We'll see. We'll see. But everything is everything, right? Meaning that everything is all one. But we'll see. There's different aspects of that one. The side says it's you. It's you on the other side. See what I'm saying? Because are we not that of what is not manifested into this reality anyway? It's just hidden, right? Jahir said facts, our cousin. Kinfolk then coming through. Kinfolk then coming through, right? Cthulhu. Cthulhu. Hold up, y'all. Let's finish this shit up, man. All right. No angel. Hold up. So, no angel is held ever goes outside his own sphere of activity. See, no angel, it is held, ever goes outside his own sphere of his activity. The angel who has healing in his wings cannot bestow vision, nor the bestower of vision serve as the strong guard against the powers of darkness. Long live Brother Pan. Cthulhu. I'm gonna do that to somebody while they sleep. Just be over their body like Cthulhu. All right. So if these angels have healing wings, they cannot bestow vision upon you. They're here for healing. Nor is the bestower of vision to serve a strong guard against the powers of darkness. Subniggurath. Hey, we got some folks in here who know what's happening. What's up? I got drink in my cup. What's happening? What's up? Got that drink in my cup. Oh, man. What's up? Got that drink in my cup. I'm drinking water right now, though. Y'all got to stay hydrated. Esotericists make a fundamental distinction between angels and the souls of men. They say that the divine spark, which are the nuclei of the souls of men, proceed. So, hold up. They say that the divine sparks, which are the nuclei of the souls of men, proceed from the pneumonial, no, pneumonial cosmos, from the same plane wherein the solar logos has his being. I'm gonna get tap back into that. If y'all was with Trav when we read the cosmic doctrine, that hey, that's some gems that's gonna be brought up in the presentation as well. They are therefore the same innermost nature of the Godhead. Angels, on the other hand, are created by the solar logos as the first of his created beings. They neither fall into generation nor rise by regeneration, but remain in changeless but unevolving perfection to the end of the epoch. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Hope y'all hearing that. Hope y'all hearing that. That's some key shit. They say because of the divine. Listen, here we go. Taking it back to the great old ones. When we talk about the divine sparks, when we talking about these traveling atoms that Miss Dion Fortune talked about in the cosmic doctrine, these traveling atoms of these divine sparks came before the gods. They existed before the logos. They existed before the angels. That's what we talk about when we talk about the Titans. They before the god. This is the whole shit about Kronos eating his children. And then Jupiter killing Kronos and turning them into ash and building up the angels after them and the other guys out of them or the human beings out of their ash. That's mythology trying to explain the nuclei of the soul. So they say that the divine sparks, which are the nuclei of the soul of men, proceed from the pneumonial cosmos. It comes from the great entity, the unmanifest. For the same plane, from the same plane wherein the solar logos has his being. They are therefore the same. They are therefore of the same innermost nature as the Godhead. Your soul, your divine spark, is of the same innermost nature of the Godhead, not the logos. Angels, on the other hand, are created by the logos. See, are the gods in heaven or the gods on earth? The angels in heaven say God is on the earth. They neither fall into generation nor rise by regeneration, but remain in changes but unevolving perfection to the end of the epoch. The functions of the angels are diverse and cannot be entered upon here in detail. She always do that to us, bro. The hear me? I'm finna finish this. Then reach out comments. Hold up. Angels, on the other hand, okay, we already read that. The functions of the angels are diverse and cannot be entered upon here in detail. They are, each according to his office and rank, God's messengers and the things of the spirit, but they have no direct contact with dense matter. So there ain't no angels coming down from heaven to see you and holler at you. That office is performed by another order of beings altogether. The office that the angels work out of are performed by another order of beings altogether, the elementals, who differ in origin and inmost nature from both angels and men. This is what we're talking about here. This is what we're talking about. We get into it. Elementals. Take Trav course if you have not. The one-eyed idiot. God inside the yard. Ooh, God inside the yard. Album title. They had said Saturn. I'll give you time when I talk about Chronos. All right. Let's see. The Sagi says, what would you guys recommend to start getting into Lovecraft work from an occult perspective? I've never thought to look at his work as a modern day technology grimoire. Jay Harris gave you an answer right there, the Dark Lord, and it's with and I think that's what's the name, Kenneth Grant. I got one Dark Lord with Kenneth Grant is doing commentary with the Dark Lord. I would say definitely. Dark Lord. There go your answer right there. I think it's getting into some Typhonian shit. Yeah, that was the perfect answer. He hit that one right there, nail on the head. I would definitely say tap into that. So these angels work out the office of the elementals. Why do you think Trav is pushing that elemental course? I understood elementals, but once I ran into Trav, my evolving of understanding of the elementals rose up. Yeah, no, this is right here. Watch that, damn. Yeah, watch that Bobby Hemming Typhonian lecture first. Facts. Facts. We definitely got to understand these Typhonian Egyptians and what they talking about. And this book as well gets into it. We started off with Occult Sundays with reading this. Outside the Circle of Time. Outside the Circle of Time is some fucking gems in here, bro. There's some fucking gems in here that make you just question this shit. Look at that spider web J by here. There's some shit in here that just makes you question some shit. Fire book. We just read the age of the new Aeon that's coming, the new current. You can die and become a current, nigga. You can become a current of energy, a current of consciousness. The age of Horus and Mayat is coming into play. Remember what Bobby told us about Heru? Or when you look up Heru is not here to do none of that nice shit. Heru is be straight destructive and tear shit up. Mayat has a connection with Sekhmet. Tear shit up. I'm trying to tell you, man. So y'all looking, but you got to look and understand that when shit is being broken down, something new is being created. There has to come a destruction to this plane of existence or this perception of existence. I know nothing, says peace. Dion preaching the tool of magistrate. Oh, we all riding the new current. Peace, I know nothing, for joining us over here on the Occult Sunday service where we stand on principle to be more direct, cosmic principle. Appreciate you for showing up and showing some love. You said that motherfucker, yeah, hey, check this out, Jay Harris, since you here on the Occult Sunday service, get your ass on motherfucking Hasaja, where you get yours from? Drop that website in here, Hasaja, where you got your book from. She got hers cheaper than mine. I paid like 120, like 120 for mine. That's with shipping. I got it off eBay. I got these. I got both of these. I got the Night Side of Eden, and I got Outside Circuits of Time. So this about $250 together. I think I got one of them for like $80. So I take that back. So one was like 120, one was like $89. When you say are they different? Yeah, no, 1K, that's insane, right? Paperback or hardback? I got mine hardback. I think y'all talking to each other. Y'all see my hardback. Your hardback for the library, right? Appreciate that. I know nothing. Appreciate that. That's real. That's mad gratitude. Appreciate you. Because you doing God work as well. God damn it. It's just a beautiful thing when someone else sees it in somebody else. That means that you know you doing it as well. So for y'all who like me, them PDFs be hard for me, but Hasaja just dropped the link where she got her hard copy from, and I pin that in the comments. $47 hardback, and it was new. You hear that? It's pinned in the comments right there. jdhomes.com. Because you know people get these books and try to overprice them, but don't worry. Hasaja got you. Now let's get into the elementals. Much confusion of thought exists concerning the orders of beings known as elementals. Hold on. They are sometimes confused with the spirits of men. Undoubtedly, many happenings attributed to the spirits are to be assigned to the activity of those other orders of beings. Again, they are not to be confused with evil demons, or to give them to give them the Kabbalistic name, the Kaliphoth. They are not to be confused with the Kaliphotic demons when we're dealing with elementals. Elementals are the thought forms generated by coordinate systems of reactions that have become stereotyped by constant and unchanging repetition. We're going to read that again. That's key to know. That's why we keep talking about thought forms and patterns and thought forms and patterns. We're creating spirits. We're creating elementals. We're either evolving these elementals or keeping them where they at and just giving them what they want. Let's read that again. This is key, y'all. Elementals are thought forms generated by coordinated systems of reactions, that have become stereotyped by constant and unchanging repetition. That's what these elemental spirits are. This is where we get the NPCing from, right? Some explanation is necessary to make this concept clear, and we shall understand it best if we survey Some explanations is necessary to make this concept clear, and we shall understand it best if we survey the means by which the elementals come into being. Each epoch of evolution is constituted by the outgoing and the returning of a live wave of living souls. Do you hear this? Each epoch of evolution is constituted by the outgoing and the returning of a live wave of living souls. These are referred to in esoteric terminology as the lords of flame, or the lords of form, and the lords of mind. I'm going to get into that on my next presentation. We read the cosmic doctrine dealing with the lords of flame, the lords of mind, and the lords of form. I can show you how they move. This is how the lords of form and lords of mind move. Damn, it don't show good. Damn, it don't show good, y'all. It don't show good. But you got the lords of mind, lords of form, and lords of the flame. It's a lot of shit going on with the lords of form. Hint, 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 hint. I think there's a certain group of people who are technically, holistically, the lords of form. Hint, 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 hint. It's a certain group of people who come down here and build a whole bunch of shit up. And then other people take it and claim it as theirs. And then we move on to building up the next thing. Then people come taking and claiming it's theirs. And we build up the next thing. And people come taking and claiming it's theirs. Y'all motherfuckers dropping out. Fuck y'all, man. Okay. I know. I'm fucking with your butt. It is what it is. The present evolution will become the laws of humanity. Each life wave develops its characteristic constitution to evolution. Each life wave develops its characteristics constitution to evolution. When the divine spark, which constituted the nuclei of the evolving souls of each evolutions, are withdrawn back up to the planes and reabsorbed into the kingdom of God, their work remains behind them in that which they have builded. Whether it be the chemical elements evolved by the laws of flame or the reactions of consciousness evolved by the laws of mind. Humanity, it is held is the evolving power of the coordinated consciousness. And the laws of humanity, therefore, hold the same relationship to the laws of mind, and the laws of flame hold to the laws of form. These beings, however, of the three earlier life wave has passed out of range of the life of Earth. Each group to its appropriate plane in the laws of humanity are still absorbed in the task of building and are not yet, save the few who have become masters, escape from bondage of the material in which they work. Is this making sense to anybody? Is this making sense to anybody? I just need somebody to drop a period in the chat. Drop a SOP in the chat. Okay. 0, 0, 0. Giving a plot. So we're in the consistent stage of the lords of humanity. What's going to push the lords of humanity to get to that point where they can evolve up out of this bondage? Because we got the lords of the mind, the lords of the flame, and the lords of form. Now we got the lords of humanity by what she's explaining. What's going to take it? What's going to take us to finally release ourselves and say, fuck it, we done. We done what the fuck we came here to do. There was a new introduction into this sphere, into this epoch. There was a new group of people That some people say they destroyed this motherfucker and they've been tearing it up since they've been here. Some people say that. But what are they doing? They're evolving this motherfucker. Not currently pushing it to a certain level of evolution to where this shit is over. Bobby Hemming used to say this shit is over. Some have been come to the recognition that this shit is over. And now you bring in artificial intelligence and the shit that they're saying that is going to come and become into is going to ultimately push the lords out. We're going to be done. We're going to be free from bondage. Trying not to give it too much. God's cats, peace, peace, peace. Appreciate you for showing up, standing on motherfucking principle with us. That shift from the third dimension. We're getting out. It's just going to have to happen. And it may not be beautiful as people want it to be. And so I just said, hallelujah. It's coming. And it may not look the way that we thought it's going to look. And it may not look the way that they put in the movies. It may be very terrifying. Going into the type of shit that I'm going to drop on my new presentation video I'm going to bring. So I want to stay away from that. So let's go. It says, the beings, however they are of three earlier life waves, has passed out of the range of life of our Earth, each group to its appropriate plane. And the lords of humanity are still absorbed in the task of building and are not yet, save those who have become masters. So some have become masters and escape from the bondage of the material world in which they work. Consequently, indeed. It's not consequent indeed. They be fucking up words in this book, bro. Consequently, it is but rarely that any physics. Hold up. But it is rarely that any psychics, save the higher grades of adept, ever contact of any of these beings. So a lot of people ain't contacting these entities that are already left, right? We already said that they left behind them. However, as already has been noted, the forms which they built up in the course of their evolution. These forms, as psychics teach, actually consist of coordinated systems of magnetic stresses. Whenever any movement takes place, an electric current is set up, and if the series of coordinated movements is repeated many times, these currents tend to make adjustments among themselves and become coordinated on their own account, quite independently of physical forms whose activity gives rise to them. Thought forms can evolve on their own. You build them up, you start them up, you starting up this bad bitch thought form, you starting up this rich nigga thought form, you starting up this whatever thought form. This shit ended up evolving and taking on its own magnetic force and evolving into something totally different from what it started from. So look at rap music. Rap music started as thought form and it was something else, and then it totally took on to what the fuck we have now. It took on its own energy, its own magnetic force, and evolved into something totally different from what it started out as. It is out of these coordinators that the elementals are evolved. We cannot go more deeply into this most interesting and intricate subject in the present pages. It is a matter for specific study. Enough has been said, however, to indicate that although the ultimate product of the evolution of the angelic, the human, and the elemental kingdom is to produce consciousness and intelligence, the origin of these three types of being is entirely different. And so also is their destiny. The destiny of the angels is different. The destiny of the humans is different. The destiny of the elementals is different. It carries and evolves. Facts, Asaja. God damn. We cannot go. Okay, we already said that. The divine sparks are the emanations of the great unmanifest. That's us, y'all. Coming from the triple black darkness of space. Ain't this what Bobby told us? It checks out across the board. that you come before the gods. Ain Sof and Ain Sofar, right? In the terminology of the Kabbalists, the angels are creations of the solar logos, and the elementals are the creations of the created. And the elementals are the creations of the created. You created elementals, that is to say, they are developed out of the activities of the material universe. The elementals are created out of the activities of the material universe. All right? When my boy say, check. All right? Check. Is anybody out there listening to me? Fuck the dumb shit. Hey, Bobby, a motherfucker, boy. This shit is over. Of the elementals thus evolved, there are many types. Firstly, the four great divisions of the elemental spirits of earth, air, fire, and water, known respectively to the alchemists as gnomes, sylphs, and salamanders, and undines. These really, check this out, these really represent four types of activities arising out of four relationships. Do you think there are gnomes and sylphs and salamanders actually are the spirits? No, that's just the form for the force to channel through. When you get into this spiritual shit, you have to understand that the forms that we see are just the channel for the force and consciousness to travel through. This is principle. This is cosmic principle. This is cosmic P that we pushing. This is what I'm talking about. So these are represent four different types of relationships. In solids, right, the elements of earth, the molecules adhere together. In liquids, the elements of water, the molecules are free moving. Here we go, stagnant, free moving. In gases, the element of air, they repel. The air elementals repel and therefore diffuse to the outermost limits. So they boom and go back all the way out to their farthest limit that they can go to and come back in. That's how air is moving. That's how the air elementals are moving. In fire, the essential property of this activity is to change plane or to transmute. Here we go again. And in the fire, the essential property of this activity is to change plane or transmute. Don't that sound like some soul shit that we hear about? The four kingdoms of the primary elementals under the angelic kings represent the purposive, purposive and intellect action of the four properties of matter. Let's read that again. The four kingdoms of primary elementals under their angelic kings represent the coordinated, purposeful, and intelligent action of the four properties of matter. The mind side of the material phenomena, the mental side, the mind side of the material phenomena, to be precise. The fact is well known to occultists, and they employ the mind side of matter into their magical work. Consequently, many of the elemental systems of reactions have, as it were, been domesticated by the adepts. We should be domesticating them by the adepts. Elementals, thus domesticated, become imbued with consciousness of a human type. These developed or initiated elementals are sometimes met with by psychics. We are now trenching upon some of the most secret aspects of occultism and not a great deal can be said. And even if it were said, little of it will be understood, save those who are already well versed in esoteric science. You should be evolving your elementals. You should be evolving thought patterns. Because the elementals, what are they? They are creations of the created. So culture itself is an elemental. Your whole culture is a large elemental. Your religion is a large elemental. Hip hop is a huge elemental that is taking the fucking globe. These are elementals. They are evolving. Do you see them evolving? Do you see them evolving? Do you see them evolving? All right, let's see. Let's see the comments. Standing on principle. This is gold, right? Dion Fortune be giving gems. It actually sounds like we should read something again, y'all. I'm gonna read that again. But we're going into this next chapter. I don't give a fuck who stays or leaves. We're going into this next chapter, which is called non-humans. Who don't want to read about non-humans? Let's go. I sees only what's in its own cosmos. Haha. Everybody else said it's unicorn current. Too bad Trav couldn't make it. Yeah, I was looking for Trav to be here. Let's do this shit again, y'all. Let's do this shit again. So we know that in solids, right, we dealing with the earth elementals. What do? They adhere together, so they lock in together. The denseness or liquids or waters are free moving. The water elements are free moving. The air elements repel each other, right? And then we get the fire, which is to transmute, change planes. They transmute things, they change things into different things. That's what fire does. The four kingdoms of the primal, or the four kingdoms of the primal elements under their angelic kings represent the coordinated purposive intellect or intelligent action of these properties. So the kingdoms of the elementals represent the intelligent actions of these properties of matter. The mind side of the material phenomena. So think about the mind, the mental side of things adhering together. When you putting one and two together, right? That's ain't that a analogy we use? Put one and two together, motherfucker. Figure it out. And then when you got something free flowing, where your mind is just free flowing, the mental state of a free flowing mind, right? And then you got something of the elemental air where something's repelling off, where you're rejecting thoughts or you're blocking thoughts, or when something comes into your sphere, you're blocking it, whatever the case may be. Think of something that you repair on a mental level, right? We're talking about the hidden side of these things, right? And then the fire where you're transmuting, where you're changing planes, where you get to fucking meditating and going up into different planes of existence and within the mind, right? I think that's what we're doing when we're doing top with shooting. Artificial intelligence is a, I don't know what you're saying, guys, cats. So she said, this is a well-known fact. So coaches and they employ the mind state of matter into their magical work. You should be employing the mind state of magic into your magical work, right? Dealing with elementals, right? We understand elementals are very strong with their thought forms and patterns, right? Creation of the created. God is not in direct creation with the thought forms of human beings. Human beings are in direct rapport with thought forms. Let's get into chapter 7, the non-humans. He said, oh, artificial intelligence seems like the blockage. Technically, that's what we're going to get into. I don't think it's the blockage. I don't think it's the blockage. I don't think it's gonna be able to block. I think it's coming here to serve a purpose. That's all I'm trying to say about artificial intelligence. Everything has to serve a purpose. Because you got to think about what's the internet. What is artificial intelligence connected to? It's going to be connected to the internet. The internet has a large storehouse of human thought forms on it. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You can find out the history of rocks on the internet. You can find out the history of cows, dogs. You can get visualized footage of cats, dogs, and humans on the internet. These thought forms, you can get a whole videos of cultures on the internet. That's all I'm gonna say. That made somebody drop off. It's cool. The non-humans, let's get into it, y'all. We're gonna finish this one. By this term, hold up. Everything works in our favor, including AI. That's right, love. That's right. I think the mantra of Namah Shiva can help equilibrate the elementals too, because that is the mantra of the 5 elements. Om Namah Shiva. Om Namah Shiva. Pure consciousness, unadulterated, unconditioned consciousness is Shiva. I go to sleep with that one too. I meditate that one too. I walk around saying that one too. By this term, non-humans, by this term of this section, we mean in general way, in a general way, every sort of sentient intelligence which is not at the time incarnated in the human body. What are we about to get into? Remember, she wrote this in the 20th century, not the 21st. She was dead way before the 21st came. By this term in this section, we mean in a general way, every sort of sentient intelligence which is not at the time incarnated in human body. This includes those disincarnate spirits who speak through mediums, those we call masters or inner plane adepti, not sharing in our human life through human spirits. Excuse me, y'all. Not sharing in our life, though human spirits, but we reckon them as non-human for purposes of classification. We will take the contact with beings who are not in physical bodies. We read a great deal about the contacts in medieval lecture and medieval literature. So, too, have the ancients a lot to say. And today, among the primitive tribes of the East and the West of the New World, also there's a great deal about it in certain sections of our own folklore, especially among the Celts, the Celtic people, right? The average Anglo-Saxon is content with one non-human body only, and that is the devil. So then we are dealing with a considerable body of testimony to contact between human beings and non-human beings. There is no smoke without fire. So we have to consider, are there such things? Is communication possible? If so, is it advisable under any conditions or certain conditions? What we were just talking about with Curve, watching that new show, that Pantheon show, they didn't say artificial intelligence, they call it upload intelligence, or the human mind was uploaded to the artificial or the computer intelligence, or into a fucking robot, whatever the fuck you want to call. Incarnated non-humans, incarnated minds into fucking robots. I'm holding back because I'm trying to say too much. I want y'all to show up for that video. Taking the broad question of other phases of evolution, there is no reason why we should not, well, there should not, there is no reason why there should not be other forms of existence than the dense physical matter. To the untrained person, nothing is real but the material things he can bump and fall over. But anyone with any experience in scientific work knows that there are unseen forces on the level next removed from the dense matter, which we can get at with absolute certainty. What did we just say about the NASA just found something in Antarctica of parallel universes dealing with taionic atoms or whatever the fuck they called it? Why should there not be others just a little further on? Why there should not be other beings just a little further on? Are we to limit ourselves that we can are we to limit ourselves to that which we can see? Or we or are we to say that there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in our philosophy? We will take this for granted now. We will take this for granted now to save our time and go on to consider the nature of the non-humans. Esoteric science teaches us that there are other lines of evolution as well as our own, just as light and sound take up no space in our air. So these beings do not occupy space, have not got weight or mass. They interpret it, hold up, they interpenetrate matter, and you might walk through one as through a ghost. They are different modes of consciousness from ours. We might see a musician in raptures, in a state of rapture at what might sound to us as mere din, because his trained ear is distinguished to the sounds. So there are those other modes of existence different from ours, and they interpenetrate ours. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? We contact these other modes of life only under three conditions. We have to begin to perceive in a different way. Then we find that they are, hold up, we have to begin to perceive in a different way. Then we find that we are meeting with beings of a kind we did not know existed. And it is a surprising experience for both. Secondly, we come into contact with these other beings if there is someone about who is a materializing medium and who can exude ectoplasm. Thirdly, occultists who go in for such forms of work by magical operation can invoke beings of other forms of existence into materialization. Thirdly, the occultists who can in forms of work magic by magical operation invoke beings and other forms of existence into materialization. What if you're an high-end occultist and you tapping into certain shit, right? What if you're in the Illuminati, if you tapping into certain shit and you get in contact with certain entities? And what are we reading outside the circles of time? These things on the other side been trying to come in, but they're not conducive with the physical makeup of human beings. So they need a different type of body to manifest in through. They can't manifest in through human bodies. What can you do with them? They can't do a human body, but they can do an internet. They can do a chat GPT. They can do a Tesla robot. They can do a Neuralink. I'm just saying. They're going to tap into the Akasha records for advancement of our civilization. To see. Oh, for kilts. Okay, for kilts instead of silts. Instead of Celtic, it's Celtic. You're right. You're right. What the fuck am I talking about? Cat says SOP. Asad says gray alien head. Godcat says, wow. I'm just saying. Because we got to understand these are unincarnated human beings in incarnated minds. Unincarnated minds. They're not in physical bodies, right? I don't even have to call them human beings. That kind of throws a loop when we playing with words. But these are unincarnated thought forms, right? of beings that exist. Who is to say? All I'm saying is challenge your thoughts. Who's to say they can't incarnate through the internet and artificial intelligence? That's all I'm saying. So when we see there are conditions by which we can contact them, but it is a process out of the normal for both parties. When a human being raises consciousness to the subdued planes, he is, as it were, a ghost to the inhabitants of that plane, right? So down here, when these things incarnate down here, you see them as you know what I'm saying. Let's just talk about ghosts, what we're talking about now, or spirits, right? They incarnate here, and we see them. If you're a medium on a psychic on that level to be able to see, they appear as ghosts. But when you go into these other planes of existence, you in your dense form, you appear to them as ghosts. Therefore, when we do, we get a great sense of danger of these things inimical to us. Therefore, when we do, we get a great sense of these things inimical to us. The reason being that these beings are afraid of us on the defensive. You be going up these different planes of existence, and they be attacking your ass. Why? You ain't in rapport with them. They don't know what the fuck you is. The same way when you see a ghost down here, oh, it's a ghost, it's a ghost. Same way these entities, when you get up there and see your little dense human ass coming through up there, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's a ghost. It's a ghost. You a ghost to them. Yeah, fight your ass tooth and nail to send your ass back down here. It is different in the case of the initiated. Here we go. It is different in the case of the initiated cultist who goes out into the unseen with letters of introduction. And there is a fraternal relationship. So you build up rapport with these entities. You build up rapport with these entities, with these energies. You do some path working. Then the consciousness of the adept moves out along well-known tracks with his credentials, and he no longer finds these planes agnostic. He knows how to behave, and it is an entirely different matter. It's an entirely different matter when you know how to move upon the planes. There's a great book on that. Give me a second. The Shining Paths. Some path working for you right here. Some path working for you. Meditate with these paths, and they will take you into these planes. I tell you that now. They will take you into these planes. You will have experiences, and it will be different as far as the more you do it, the more connected you get with this type shit. Hold up, because I want to make sure I finish. But these journeys are not things to be undertaken haphazardly by anyone. We can give much offense to the beginnings of another plane and be pushed back forcibly. Didn't I tell y'all I got pushed back forcibly? I got pushed back forcibly in 2021 or 2020. I got turned around. I was not ready. I did not build up a rapport. I'm here being clear with you, motherfuckers. I got pushed back, turned around. You will be turned around if you're not ready. The question of communication between the two planes resolve itself into the change of the levels of consciousness on our side, or the assembling of the substantial form on the order side. And in both, It hold up, what the fuck did I just read? Let's do this again, y'all. The question of communication between the two planes resolves itself into the change of the levels of consciousness, right? On our side, or the assembling of the substantial form on the other side. And in both, it is essential that both shall know what they are about to observe, about and observe certain precautions. And now that matter now and now what manner of beings are they who are thus contracted? Hold up. And not what manner of the beings are they who were now contracted. First, they are living dead, those whom the spiritualists usually contact when they reach the unseen. The spiritualist movement was brought into being about the same time as the modern occult movement in Christian Science. Four big movements moved off of the last quarter of the last century: spiritualism, Christian Science, and its allies, New Thought, etc. So here we go. The Theosophical Society, all this European shit. Theosophical Society under Blavatsky, right? And a general stirring and movement of life in the Western esoteric tradition itself, which is much less known. Right? So we do understand that this is occultism, this spiritualism, and all this new age shit is all of a European society, right? But there are keys in here that we can use since we have a Western mind. See, but also you still have a subconscious mind of an indigenous person around this motherfucker. See what I'm saying? So you can make the connection between the two. That's why it's harder for the Easterner to understand the Westerner's mind, and the Western is hard for us to understand the Easterner mind. That's why I also tap into this yogic shit, right? Because it brings back ancient thought, the resurrection of ancient thought, to be able to understand this shit in a new age environment. It was just forgotten. You just remembering this shit, right? Each of these had its own work to do. The spiritualists had their work associated with the human spirits of the departed who were still within the earth's sphere. They never did much outside of that. Just as the occultist working on the contacts up and down a given ray comes in touch with the beings of this ray. So the spiritualist work and their experience is limited. So the spirits dealing with the dead, they limited in their experience. These beings are human. These beings are human personalities that they deal with, right? Most of you know that the human personality endures for a while after the death of the body, going through a purgatorial experience. From there to a lower heaven to rest in a pleasant dream. In a lower heaven to rest in a present dream. Then the second death, the death of the personality of this incarnation, including the lower mind, which is disintegrated. From this, the higher self is set free and passes some time in the higher heaven before reincarnating. Did you hear that? From this higher self, so once the personality disintegrates, right? Because it lives on a little bit after death, right? And then once that disintegrates, then the higher self is free from that bondage of this personality, of this personal attachments of that person, the thought forms of that person. It eventually disintegrates, right? And then the higher self is set free and passes some time in the higher heaven. So it gets a taste of that higher heaven before incarnating again. The type that the spiritualist meets with are beings on the lower heaven. I do not think there is any sign of beings who are functioning in the individuality. The individuality would be the higher self, right? Dealing with the higher self, the soul, the spirit, right? Everybody down there is still functioning in personality in the lower heavens, right? Still functioning in attachments to a personality or a thought form or a way of being. It is the function of the spiritualist movement to work with the beings on these levels because its work was to break down the barrier between the living and the dead. The occultist, on the other hand, is forbidding by his conditions to have any dealings with the living dead. He opens up his contact with those of the humankind who have passed beyond the reincarnating phase of evolution. That's who we trying to get into contact with. Me, you know, not saying I won't contact the living dead, but hold up. So the occultist, on the other hand, is forbidden by his condition to have any dealing with the living dead. He opens up his contact for those of the humankind who has passed beyond reincarnating phase of evolution. And also with some different forms of existence, which are very interesting. That's what the occultist is doing. Damn, I'm missing the shit. Hold up, y'all. Damn, I'm missing a lot of shit. I've been laughing. Jay said, "Damn, meditation on the place and the thing and get ready for the and get ready and read first." I do that. Thank you, my notes. The saying, "Tree of Life" by George W. Cassidy. Too a good one. I ain't read that one. Jay Harris. Okay. Tree of Life by George W. Casey. I think Bobby brought him up. Okay, I put that in my notes. But then God cast is a theosophical bucket. Basically, that cleansing phase. Right. Yes. That cleansing phase, right? So then the occultist finds that when he is able to function in his higher consciousness, he is coming across beings of a quite different kinds from himself. These are classified. We make them, hold up. We take them as the being, hold up. We take them as being the elemental beings. We take them as being the elemental beings who the occultists are dealing with. They are quite different in kind from humanity. They have no divine spark. They have no soul. They will be disintegrated at the end of this evolution and cease to exist unless they can develop within themselves a spiritual nature. You can evolve these elementals, these thought forms, these things. These beings come into existence. Thus, wherever you get a series of constantly coordinating actions and reactions, you get what we call tracks in space, which remain after the activities which gave rise to them have ceased. That's why she talked about the group mind. That's why we talking about thought forms. Let's read this again. These beings come into existence. Thus, however, wherever, hold up. These beings come into existence wherever you get a series of constantly coordinating actions and reactions. You get what we call tracks in space. Hint, hint, traveling atoms. Hint, hint, cosmic doctrine, which remain after the activities which give rise to them has ceased. We can compare these to the swirlings of the water in a stirred up basin. After the stirring has ceased, the swirls in the water continue for some time. These throughout nature are the basis of any beings. And on this basis develop the possibilities of response to environment and memory. Let's see the chat. And memory. O.J. Harris said that book, the what's the name book, Tree of Life, is a damn. Hold on. It's a $5 book. All right. Curve say gems. We are the conduit for them. Crazy. Synchronization entities. What's up, fam? Better late than never. Peace to you, I win. Appreciate you for showing up. We're pushing this cosmic P with you, me, and the whole family. What's up? Better late than never. YouTube didn't notify. That shit suck, bro, because I don't even get the notification. I got two YouTube. I got my rap YouTube page and I got this one. I'm subscribed on the other post and send me notification. And you send me no notification. I even got a homie who subscribed. He was like, hey, bro, you might want to check your settings on your channel because it's telling him he can't subscribe to something that's for children. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? That ain't right. Let me go check my shit. I ain't none of my settings set on children or none of this shit, bro. But it won't even let him hit the notification bell on my channel, bro. Do I want to start some conspiracy theories about that shit? But it is what it is, man. Appreciate you for showing up. Don't forget to hit the like button and show some love. Appreciate you. Please hit that like button. It's all good, y'all. Y'all here. That means that's just here. I guess that's meant for the part that you was supposed to show up on. Hold up. Thus, we gradually get the difficult concept of the building up of consciousness out of natural phenomena. Thus, we gradually get the difficult concept of the building up of consciousness out of natural phenomena, the building spirits, who thus operated in the first place the great natural phenomena when they were being created, are angelic beings, right? They withdraw up the planes and leave the elementary consciousness to carry on with the stereotype mode of reaction. So they cause it, they do it, and then get the fuck up out of it and let that shit continue to take place what it's doing, right? These remain, these remain undeveloped, and we all call them the creators of the created. These lives, these hold up, these lives are lived, yeah, these lives called into existence not by God, but by God's creatures who have no power to endow them with immortal life. Only God can give these things mortal life. Only God can give these a divine spark. They don't have a divine spark, but they come out of something that does have divine sparks. Whenever you get a system in nature which reacts as a unit, a mountain, a dale, a wood, you have the same system of coordinated stresses in the background. And thus come the little nature spirits or the devas or gods of localities which our ancestors worship. The same the same idea is at the back of different species of animals. If you have any knowledge of biology, you would know that they are very simple beings, unicellular. And the generalized consciousness of these may have a single life under its control, but many. There are certain periods in its existence when there is only a green patch of some damp surface, and this breaks up into innumerable little things. These live for a time in a free swimming form. Then they all gather together and form a large homogeneous mass called plas, plas, plasmodium. What becomes of consciousness as a unit in hold up what becomes of consciousness as a unit in its free flowing form, or its free moving form? Or take bees. The hive is the unit there and not the bee. The unit might be called the bee angle. The unit might be called the bee angle. We get these different curious units of consciousness evolve. Next, what is the logical outcome? Higher, more developed modes of nature forces. There is a very curious occult doctrine that these beings becoming more and more developed and becoming more to resemble the types of consciousness with which we are familiar. Uh-oh. Let's read this again. There is a very curious occult doctrine that these beings becoming more and more developed and coming more resemble all types of consciousness with which we are familiar, become conscious that they are lost souls unless they can develop a spiritual nature. Hey man, I don't know what to say, but let's read. They seek as initiators who have got a spiritual nature. The initiated man is the initiator of the elemental being. The spiritual man, hold up. The initiated man is the initiator of the elemental being. So we are initiating the elementals. So we are initiates, and we initiate the elemental beings. Human beings take them as pupils and help them to develop their sparks of individual consciousness. We are giving the elemental souls. We helping them develop one. Damn. Hold up. In the return for this service, the elemental beings perform services for the magician. All my elementals are winners. Shout out to Milo. We read of these as familiar spirits. The writers on these matters were usually the priest, and being charged with by the Inquisition to inquire into it, were usually a little prejudiced. But there is a certain relationship between people who understand the inner planes and beings of another order. And there is also an involutionary relationship very often between those people who are naturally psychic without training and quite spontaneously come into touch with other beings. The effect of this is seldom wholesome. It has the effect of unbalancing them. It is a too intensively stimulating contact. Elementals are of a pure type composed of one element only, whichever they may be, whereas a human being is a mixture of all. So, what character? Carl Jung, the Red Book, he gets into that too. And I still got that on my what's the name. I had the PDF, but never got the physical book, and I still got that shit on my Amazon book. Carl Jung was an occultist, right? Or a psychologist, or whatever the fuck they want to call him, but definitely an occultist. If you peep what he get to talking about the unconscious, because he tapped in more of the Eastern philosophy anyway, and understanding shit going on over there in the East and how they understood the mind, which is our ancient thought, right? Because we understand the Kush in this Kush mountains, and the Indus Kush people come from Kushite Ethiopians, Africans, right? That's just historical. So they are too potent. They are too potent a stimulus to that one element in our own being, which is very apt to throw a human being off his balance. These elementals can throw you off your balance, right? Lure him to follow it and abandon his human ways. These elementals fucking with these elemental spirits, they can throw you off you be out here running around with your dick out, running down the street with the church shoes on and a gun, talking about you are the son of Christ or you're the son of God. Literally. Okay, hold up. Because elementals are of a pure type and you are of a mixture, right? Elementals are pure cocaine, and your ass is some cut. Your ass been cut up with all types of shit, which makes you unique, but it can throw you off your balance to deal with this pure shit. All right. He is taken by the fairies, or what we should call a pathology. See, there's some hidden words. He is taken by the fairies. If he because what okay, I don't think I so there are too potent, they are much too much of a potent stimulus to that one element in our own being, which is very apt to throw a human being off his balance, lure him to follow it, and abandon his human ways. He is taken by the fairies, or what we should call a pathology. You can see the thought control withdrawing from the physical vehicle. When the magician invokes his spirit to an individual appearance, he put himself into a circle and draws a triangle outside of it and causes the spirit to manifest in this. Then he will do the banishing ritual and return it to whence it came, to its own sphere. But he usually the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, right? But he usually does this only for research work or to help a pathology. We must draw the distinction between the serious research worker and the person who is out for experimenting. Nothing but harm is likely to result in the latter way. It's out here experimenting with these spirits. You don't know what you're dealing with. Once he mastered the physical nature, he had a dream of the elementals saying they are there to serve him now. Ooh, 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 ooh. Elemental, air elemental fairies. Let's get it. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. What other forms of creatures are there? We got 2 pages, little page and a half left, y'all. What other forms of creatures are there? I have mentioned the angelic beings, the great archons, the building spirits who built up the planes of nature in the time of other evolutions. There are all mat hold up. There are all matter of a very lofty spiritual beings whose mode of manifestation is in nature. All right. They are classified in different ways. We talk about the heathen who worship many gods, but in every religion, there is always the beings behind the gods, the father of the gods, the oversoul, a very abstract concept of being. The gods of any system are these natural forces called the archangels in angels in the Hebrew system, which we ourselves use. The spiritual beings have never had a material incarnation. Have the spiritual beings have never had a material incarnation, have never descended into matter. The old tradition is that the choice was offered to the spirits whether they will remain on the inner planes, neither ascending nor descending, or descend to the depths of matter in order to raise higher than they had started from. Don't that sound like Lucifer? Don't that sound like Satan? Are you hearing what's being dropped? And one lot choose one line, led by Adam, or rather Eve. Here we go. Hold up. Let's get it back. Let's get it back. In one lot chose one line, led by Adam or by Eve. Oh, damn, I lost my spot already. What the fuck? Oh, one led by Adam or by Eve, and others chose the other. So the angelic hosts are our kin. And if you go far enough back, you will find a time when men and angels were of one company. Thus, it is possible under certain conditions to contact these angelic beings. But in most cases, we do not contact the actual being who is very vast, right? We contact his ray, his emanation. If you were sufficiently rich, you could engage a great opera singer to come to your house and sing in your drawing room. But if you had only enough for a wireless set, you could hear him on the air. That's some key shit, right? Because you're contacting the rays, not it itself. That's why when you're having dreams, it's not the thing itself. You're contacting the ray, the energy that sits behind the form. It is the same with the vision of Christ that has been seen. The vision beautiful is not the actual being, but tuning in on the ray, though it is the same thing for practical purposes. We need to understand these things. It's not just me saying this. Big Dion Fortune saying the same shit. We need to understand that's what you're having a reaction with, interaction with. We must not think of all of them as fairy figures. They are consciousness with a quite which are quite incomprehensible to us. They are actually incomprehensible to us, so they have to come in forms that is comprehensible to us. That's the break. That should help you with your dreams. This is what I've been telling you about. This is the principles that I stand upon. I don't confuse the planes. I don't confuse the planes. You'll be fucked up out here. Damn, I skipped over some shit, y'all. What the fuck? I skipped over a lot of shit. Okay, hold on. I skipped over a lot of shit. But if you had enough of what I said, you could hear him on the air. When we invoke the Archangel Raphael, we do not expect him to turn up in person, but we do expect to feel his force, his ray. So what we was talking about earlier, when people doing these mantras, looking into these jantras and doing all this, and then correspondences start happening in the waking world and the real world, you have contacted successfully. Right? What did she just say? You do not expect him to turn up in person, but we do expect to feel his force, his ray. It is the same with the vision of Christ that we have been seeing. The vision of you beautiful, it is not the actual being, but tuning in on the ray, though it is the same thing for practical purposes. We need to understand these things. We are not dealing with an actual anthropomorphical form, but the modes of consciousness. And some are so different from ours, there is no analogy. Then we say this. Then we say this. Then we say this. This is principle. Some shit you just gonna experience, you can't explain. You're gonna try to fill out analogies and try, you just can't explain it. Some shit that I just be want to say, I just don't know how the fuck to say it. It don't make sense. We must not think of them all as fairies, but they are consciousness, which are quite incomprehensible to us. All right, this is the last page, y'all. Let's check this chat. JR said, told y'all cousins. Facts. Facts. This breakdown at all, right? Curve said, the correspondences. They said, our cousins, they kinfolk. Kinfolk. Zero SOP. Is it showing up? Your theory say SOP. God's cats say SOP. You feel they hold sword. Facts. This info hit perfect time to me. Really, really glad to be here. I'm glad you here too, Zero. That's what I'm talking about. Remember, once I was meditating upon a symbol, and I felt like a force was within the mind with me, which is crazy. Meditate in these energies, you become the channel for these energies. You become a channel, right? Your whole body can become a channel because you've got into sympathetic rapport with this energy, right? And it comes through in this manner right here that Curve is talking about in his mind, right? Coming through on a mental plane. Yeah, I'll have add one of these because I'm gonna channel some of this pop, Olipop. I don't even like it. You got other flavors, but no. With that being said, right? Take it back to AI. I just like the inquisitive mind that I have. That I'm not set. I can't say. How can I say which way energies or these forces can come into being? Who am I to say? Who the fuck am I to say? Who are we to say as humans? The Goetia, the 72 demons, the kings of Edom, of unbalanced forces trying to get balanced, right? Are these forces trying to get balanced out? Who is the helper to help? We initiate these demons and balance them out. We are the initiators. We are the initiated, and then we initiate these elemental forces, these thought forms, these patterns around us, y'all. In addition to all these, there is an innumerable host of thought forms cast off from human consciousness. Artificial elementals deliberately made by human beings. Now, we do understand, and she broke down that these elements are not the physical elements, right? It's the modes of consciousness. You have the things that retract, then you have the things that are free flowing, then you have the things that repel off each other, and then you have the things that transmute. I bet you can break down how a computer system does those same exact things. If you're a coder, I bet you can break down how a computer does those same exact things. Why? Because the human mind does those same exact things. And the computer and the internet and artificial intelligence was created with the human mind. These last for various lengths of time. So there is a legion of different types of beings. 72 Goetia. Neither angels nor devils. The idea that all which is that is not physical is either divine or evil is not true. Listen, the idea that all which is not physical is either divine or evil is not true. Just because it's not physical doesn't mean it's evil. Just because it's not physical does not mean it's divine. Non-humans are very much like humans, neither perfect or omniscient, but evolving. A final point, the being which the being which the Kabbalists call the Kalipov. Hold up. A final point, the beings which the Kabbalists call the Kalipov. These are demonical, dwelling in the kingdom of unbalanced force, which came into existence before equilibrium was established. Different types of inharmony reinforced by the mass of evil thoughts ever since. Let's read that again. These are the demonical dwellings in the kingdom of unbalanced force, which came into existence before equilibrium was established. Different types of inharmony reinforced by the mass of evil thoughts ever since. When you touch the unseen, you are unlikely to touch divine beings of any sphere without also touching the Kalipov of that sphere. When you touch the unseen, you are unlikely to touch the divine beings of any sphere without touching the Kalipov of that sphere. If you contact a Sephra, you touch its unbalanced side too. You need to know that's key. You dare not open a higher contact with any of these planes unless you are able to hold down the lower. This is a great truth of spiritual life, man. Let me get an SOP if you understand that. I'm gonna read that again, please. Everybody, I need at least 10 SOPs. It's 15 people in here. I need at least 10 SOPs if this is hitting. When you touch the unseen, you are unlikely to touch the divine beings of that sphere without also touching the kalipoth of that sphere. If you contact a Sephira, you touch its unbalanced side also. You dare not open a higher contact with any of these spheres unless you are able to hold down the lower. This is a great truth of spiritual life. Let me get some SOPs. You can't get in this motherfucking confusing the planes. You can't get just one full side of all prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. The other side of it has to come with it. You can't get straight Hesed prosperity. Mars comes with it. Gibra comes with Hesed. Slicing, cutting shit. And then you get the other side of Hesed. Then you get the other side of Mars on that other side of that sphere of Gibra. It comes with both. And you don't need to get the fucking around. That's why you get lost up in that moon, your side, in the illusionary realm, and these tricksters get to coming in and fucking with you because you ain't built up the right rapport with what's going on, right? They're not. It's SOP. Khashoggi, what you mean? How do we? Because you might be talking about a part that I see you been wrote that. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. How do we know when we? Oh, how do you know when we were ready? Because you will know you're ready. It's a knowing. It's, I swear to God, not even being funny. It's a knowing that you just have. It's like when you wake up that morning, you know you finna have a good day. It's that same feeling. It ain't no, I wonder if I'm finna have a good day. I wonder if today can be good. Like you just, it's a knowing. Like, damn, I don't know why. I know that I'm finna have a great day. I just know. You just know, bro. You got to come into that, and it's an inner thing. You got to come into that knowing. You have to come into that knowing. You have to come into that knowing. How do you come into that knowing? By listening to your higher self, coming into understanding how your higher self is speaking to you. That little voice that's very quiet, that's speaking like, yes, no, yes, no, do that, don't do that. That little voice in the back of you is real simple when it speaks, but you got to be able to come into understanding when that motherfucker is speaking. Big key to show you how to deal with the lower. Oh, that's a question mark then. You asking a question? Great knowledge. SOP. SOP. The Harris says as a man think of, so is he. SOP. We stand on SOP. Massager says SOP. God can say SOP. We almost done, y'all. They by here SOP. So that mean it's just some people just watching, not saying shit. And I've been noticing that people do that, which is fine. It is what it is. SOP, Kurt, J by SOP. You gotta get the full polarity. Hold on. You gotta get the full polarity. Shaping you to get that experience, right? SOP. Does Mars have a surface? I don't even look at Mars as a physical planet, to be quite honest. I don't look at none of the planets as being physical, but that's me and my perception. Gotta do that shadow work. Facts. Facts, right? How the fuck did I miss out saying that? That's the shadow work, going and dealing with the inner parts of yourself, right? Because what we typically like to do is what she talked about in the book early in the earlier chapters, right? About people end up sacrificing mental health trying to become into this spiritual shit, which means you're not doing the work on your inner self. You got to deal with that fear in you, that pride in you, that arrogance is in you, that jealousy in you, all these patterns that you built up over these times, because these elementals will come in and plant and be that seed, that plant, and make that thing explode and grow even more. That's how you get people going out they goddamn mind. So if you too caught up in your pride, in your arrogance, right? These elementals will come in and tap in and latch on to that, and that shit will go to this point where motherfuckers get to going crazy and you get to be out there on the streets talking about, I'm Jesus. I'm Jesus. I came back to save you. I'm Heru. You know what I'm saying? Not making fun of nobody, but that's what ends up happening. These people don't not disassociate, but remove the attachment to these various forms of themselves. And I can say that came into me, and it wasn't just by like, oh, let me just remove myself from this. Oh, nope, I don't identify with that no more. I just had a I just came into a knowing. Certain meditations, certain books that I read. Certain people talk about books and this and that, but books, you can read one line in a book and it's a fucking breakthrough. I've had that experience. I don't know what nobody else has had, but I've had that experience just reading a certain line and like a book like Top with Shooty or Sumkir Darshan. I had a fucking breakthrough. Boom. I just instantly understood. What is that telling me? That's actually a remembrance of something. That's actually a remembrance of something. I didn't just learn something new by reading this fucking book. This book sparked something from a memory from a past time that I already understood. Ain't nothing wrong with reading no books. What you're getting from the book is the question. What are your personal breakthroughs, right? We kind of like lifting weights. Keith Star, you just showing up. Appreciate you coming in. It's so motherfucking P. Kind of like lifting weights. You have to be able to control the weight and balance it out in order to lift it. Facts. Facts. It's like Travis said, you have to be as pure as a child in the heart to approach some spirits. Right. The innocency. That's what let me hit that next stage of my awareness. I came into the innocent child stage of I don't know. And the doors fucking opened up. Cause that ego, I know this and I know that, I know this and I know that, and I know this and I know. Nigga, I Big Theory said I can relate. It's in you. The book tricks the core to awake. That's it. That's what these books serve a purpose for. They are not your ceiling. The books are your groundwork. They're not the ceiling. They're here to serve a purpose to help you remember. Learning is done subconsciously, not consciously. Not learning all the big words and the best way to read and how well do you pronunciate your words. Which the elementals blocks are the dark side of you. You are being shown your shortcomings. The elementals are blocks. The elementals or blocks are the dark side of you. You are being shown your shortcomings. So these patterns, right? These patterns, these elemental patterns that we end up creating, right? They become blocks. And they blocks until you learn how to evolve these blocks. These blocks need to be evolved, right? You don't have to completely disassociate yourself from them. They may actually cause some mental disruption by completely disassociating from them. You need to get an understanding of them. Once you get an understanding of them, you can take them to a higher state. You can take them to a different level of just your being. I want to give an example that's like, okay, like if you're a fucking horn dog and you always trying to fuck something and do something sexual, like what if you can take that and get an understanding of where that comes from, right? You can still have your sexual urge and get it off in a more of a, for lack of a better word, a so-called spirit concentrate, right? Where you do something with a dedication to a higher purpose. So when you masturbate or when you have sex, you can do sex that takes you to another transcendental level, right? Instead of just fucking to bust a nut. Instead of just fucking to to get away from talking about problems that need to be talked about, right? In relationships or whatever the case may be. You can transmute these elementals into doing other things that serve you, and those elementals or those spirits or those blocks evolve as well. Damn God, cats, I ain't never played Roblox. I ain't never played Roblox. All right, let's finish. All right, we got about 4 sentences. The initiator adept knows this. He always aims at the equilibrium of these great forces that we're talking about. We ain't talking about destroying your sexual urge. We're talking about equilibrating it, right? The adept knows this. He always aims at the equilibration of the great forces. At the last, all of the kingdoms of earth and below the earth shall be redeemed. Our Lord went to preach to the spirits in prisons to redeem them. They are simply misplaced force. That's it. The forces that you have, they just simply misplaced. That's it. You gotta beat yourself up and think you ain't shit and think you don't know enough. They just misplaced forces. Figure out the places they need to be placed. Hold up. They are simply misplaced force, which, when returned to its proper place, ceases to be evil. The adept may not curse his devils. He must replace them to equilibrate them. This is what we've been talking about. Same shit a nigga been saying, man. There are no enemies. The adept never speaks of hell, but of the kingdoms of unbalanced force. That's it. They just kingdom is just a kingdom of unbalanced forces. They're not evil. The tree of life enables us to travel about on the 32 paths. The shining paths. The shining paths. There's the author, Dolores Ashcroft Noshwick. Shining paths. Just some path works. It says an experimental journey through the tree of life, a unique collection of magical path workings based on the 32 paths of the Kabbalist's tree of life. So the adept never speaks of hell, but of the kingdoms of unbalanced force. The tree of life enables us to travel about the 32 paths, which are distinct and well-trodden ways, and the adept moves about among the elemental beings with accuracy and knows where he is. He can maintain his equilibrium because he knows where he is. What useful purpose does it serve to contact these forces? First, it is sometimes necessary for the adept to open up these conditions in order to clear up something that has gone wrong with a soul. He may have to open a sphere to operate. He may have to open a sphere to operate like a surgeon, to bring it to equilibrium and to return into his own sphere what has gone wrong. Let's read that again. He may have to open a sphere to operate like a surgeon, to bring into equilibrium and to return into his own sphere what has gone wrong. Also, he may operate the forces of the sphere in order to bring the concentrated forces of that sphere into his own being so that he may work with it. Huh? So he may work with it. Thirdly, it may be, hold up, thirdly, it may be he has some special work to do which he can only carry out this way. In short, to bring harmony, to intensify his own nature, and possibly for other reasons. This kingdom is of varied nature. The conditions under with communication can be rightly done are rare. The conditions under which communication can be rightly done are rare. There should be a distinct turning off and on of the tap, but things can be affected by these means, which are otherwise impossible. Haphazard communication is more or less of a crime and the consequence can be disastrous, then why not keep this knowledge secret? Because there is so much of it that there is so much of it that it hold up. Then why not keep this knowledge secret? Because there is so much of it about that is better probably to see what is going on. What the fuck did I just read? There, and why not keep this knowledge secret? Because there is so much of it about that it is better probably to see what is going on. Oh, it's better to see what's going on than to keep it secret because there's so much knowledge out there about it. If you bump into things in the dark, it is better to have a light to see what is happening and to bring control. These forces exit when you bring the light. They can be dealt with. It is well to know this, as there is already so much knowledge about. Next week, we will get into black magic. Who is here black? I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety, blickety, blickety black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety, blickety, blickety black, y'all. Appreciate y'all for showing up. What's happening in the comments, y'all? What's happening in the comments? What's happening in the comments? I didn't know that about Roblox. Just need to balance and evolve. So beautiful. Truly appreciate this. I appreciate y'all for coming in here, standing on principle. If y'all out there pushing Cosmic P, let me see a SOP in the chat. We've been here for 3 hours and 41 minutes, and y'all been rocking out. And where I'm at is 11:11. Let me get some SOP in the chat before we get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all just coming in and tapping in with the gang. Always, y'all don't understand how much this shit is real deal appreciated. Like, for real, bro. Like, I appreciate the hell out of y'all coming showing up. And we can all drop, comment, and see how we all correlate and make sense amongst it. Make sense. How we all correlate and having the same experiences in different manners. Right? He said off the juice, Dion got me tripping. This Cosmic P, y'all. Out there on y'all social medias, I see y'all tapping in with that, putting that SOP up. This ain't just mine. This is ours. We are standing on principles. I win. Appreciate you. SOP. Zero, appreciate you. SOP. Hasaji, most definitely appreciate you. Jay Bond here, most definitely appreciate you. Hasaji, definitely appreciate you. Hold up, dog. Goddamn. The comments going too fast. Theory, you most definitely appreciate you, brother. Most definitely appreciate you. I'm about to be HQ level, y'all put me on. Okay, bet. Oh, you must got that PDF. I know Amazon ain't delivered that fast. God's cats, appreciate you. Thank you always. My Gnosis is a pleasure to be here. Such a great lecture. Appreciate you, Zero. Appreciate y'all, man. Damn, too many comments. Much love, family. You cannot be rude. Let's see what Jay Harris said. You cannot be rude from below. If you are to be great, you must rule from above. And that's SO motherfucking P. The great demonstrate. Be great and demonstrate. Be great and demonstrate the Cosmic P push-ups. What are we talking about, y'all? We talking about Cosmic P. As always, I don't know, I may be coming up with a live during this week. Make sure y'all got that notification bell turned on, man. And as always, no obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. This Cosmic P we pushing on this plane and the higher plane. And they gonna respect it wherever we at. Much love, y'all. Holla at y'all next week, man. Well, later on this week, maybe. Who knows? But remember, no obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain and stand on motherfucking principle.